Chapter 446. The entire transaction had been recorded by Su Yun in this video pen. It was time to stand up. When Su Yun decided to push the door open, Qian Feng and Han Zhan immediately picked up the weapons in their hands and stood on either side of Su Yun. Gong Sun Lang and Hua Xiaolu also went to the front and knelt on one knee in the front row, ready to shoot. Fortunately, there was no shortage of weapons in the armed mercenary group. Everyone could always find something convenient. Fan Shuanger held a pistol and stood behind Su Yun. She did not go forward to cause trouble for them. These 5 men all left their backs to her. She only had one task, which was to protect the backs of these 5 men. No one could attack them from behind in front of her. Quang Dang Dash. Han Zhan kicked the door open. Su Yun was instantly exposed in front of everyone. Tibika and Yadbang, who were beside Baka, quickly pulled out their guns. Piawa stood in front of Baka like a meat shield. Yefela and Fortune Guard's jaws almost dropped. Madman was a little excited, but when he saw the fully armed professional soldiers beside Su Yun, his excitement disappeared without a trace. "No need to think, I will not stay," Su Yun said lightly. "I know what you want to say. You definitely did not think that I could escape from that cold water prison, right? Fortunately, I have my brothers. Thank you for not killing me at noon and giving me the chance now." Yefela's lips trembled slightly. "Su Yun, who are you?" "I was expelled from the army. I said it before. This is the truth. However, even if I was expelled, the blood of Hua Xia's soldiers still flows in my body. I will not watch someone sell drugs and steal money on the roads of Hua Xia." After Su Yun finished speaking, he looked at Baka and continued, "Baka, you are regretting it now, right?" Baka snorted. "Yes, I am very regretful. If I meet someone I suspect in the future, I will kill him immediately. There will be no hesitation like today. Humph, I swear." Qian Feng spat. "Don't think that I can't kill you just because you have a transvestite in front of you as a meat shield. Baka, you are really not easy to deal with. Your name is already on Hua Xia's blacklist. Don't think that if you don't go to the mainland, we can't do anything to you. I am here today to get rid of you." Baka glared viciously at Qian Feng. "Get rid of me? Let's see if you have the ability." Both Tibika and Yadbang had weapons in their hands. Both sides were facing off against each other, but Su Yun and the others definitely had the upper hand. However, Baka thought that he still had more than 80 armed mercenaries. He did not care about Su Yun at all. As long as he could escape safely from the back door, his 80 armed mercenaries were not to be trifled with. "Miss Yi, there are rules in this business. When it comes to trading, if you are caught the first second, the goods are mine. No matter how badly damaged it is, I will not take a single cent from you. If you are caught the second, the goods are yours. No matter how badly damaged it is, I will still take the money and will not return a single cent," Baka said. "Now the goods are yours. Think of a way to protect them." Yifala was trembling. Not because she was afraid, but because she still could not accept the fact that she was deceived by Su Yun. Although the second Baka locked Su Yun in the water dungeon, she had already started to suspect Su Yun. She still could not accept it. She could not accept it at all. Baka tried to escape a few times, but Tibika did not give him any indication. Baka trusted Tibika. He believed in his judgment. He believed that he could find the best time to escape. Obviously, Baka had underestimated his opponent. Although Tibika was a super mercenary who had been on the battlefield for many years, he did not dare to act rashly. This was because the people in front of him did not give him any chance. He believed that if he dared to make a move, the opponents would shoot him without mercy. Even if he could hit one of them, he would definitely be killed by the opponent. The tense confrontation made the atmosphere more and more oppressive. Even Lunatic, who always spoke without thinking, did not dare to say anything this time. He seemed to feel that the Grim Reaper was standing behind him. An irrational action could lead to the Grim Reaper waving his scythe. "Why did you lie to me?" Yifala's words broke the silence. "I trusted you so much. Why did you lie to me?" "Su Yun, you know that I am sincere to you. Why did you lie to me? Why did you hurt me? What did I do to you? Why? Why did you do this to me? Su Yun's answer was resolute. People who walk different paths cannot make plans together. The business you do is a crime. It is illegal. It is an act of harming Huaxia people for huge profits. Yi Fala, I don't understand. Xing Kai Hotel is enough for you to get what you want. It is enough for you to stand at the top of Shenzhong's upper-class society. Why did you do this kind of thing? Yi Fala's cold eyes were like a pool of stagnant water, because this is what I was born to do. Because I am a baby girl who was abandoned by drug addicts. Everything I did was done by Shangguan Yudi. He saved my life, raised me, and I can't repay him even if I work like a cow or a horse for the rest of my life. He left. Of course, I have to take over everything he did. I don't understand. What did he do to you? Su Yun sneered. Have you ever thought that if Shangguan Yudi did not let these harmful things flow into Huaxia and into Shenzhen, would your parents still have come into contact with these things? If your parents did not come into contact with these harmful things, would you still be abandoned? Shangguan Yudi is not your benefactor. He is your enemy. If it was not for him, you would not have become an abandoned baby girl. You might still be a filial daughter by your parents' side. You might have gotten married and had children. You might have spent decades with your lover. You might not have fallen into this deep quagmire. Yi Fala did not want to admit this fact. No. He is my benefactor. Without him, I would have nothing. You are wrong. Without him, you would have everything. You would have your family, your lover, and your child. And because of him, you would have nothing. Su Yun could still communicate with Yi Fala at this time because he trusted these brothers around him. With them helping him to keep an eye on Ba Chai and the others, he was not worried about his situation at all. Article 347 of the criminal law clearly states that smuggling, trafficking, transportation, and manufacturing drugs, regardless of the quantity, should be investigated and punished. Depending on the circumstances, the punishment is 15 years of imprisonment, life imprisonment, or death, and confiscation of property. Smuggling, trafficking, transportation, and manufacturing opium of more than 1 kilogram, heroin or methamphetamine of more than 50 grams, or other large quantities of drugs, instigating others to smuggle, traffic, transportation, and manufacturing drugs, or selling drugs to minors, will be severely punished. So what? Yi Fala didn't feel the slightest bit of guilt for what he had done. Su Yun gritted his teeth. Do you know how many grams of heroin are in your 800 kilograms? 800,000 grams. Enough to sentence you to death 100 times. For those who smuggle, traffic, transportation, and manufacturing drugs many times without being punished, the cumulative amount of drugs will be calculated. Since you took over this matter from Shangguan Yudi, you know how many grams you have been involved in drug trafficking. Yi Fala raised his head and said coldly, Okay, then kill me. Shoot me now. Don't you have a pistol in your hand? Go ahead. Su Yun said expressionlessly, As long as you don't arrest me, I won't shoot. I hope you cooperate with me. I have all the evidence of your transactions. Even if you are arrested now, you can't return to Shenzhen. You will be wanted. I'm not joking with you, I'm serious. Su Yun. Yi Fala's smile was particularly strange. Do you know how much of a bastard you are? You made me fall in love with you, deceived me of my trust, and then tore apart this trust and began to sprinkle salt on the wound. You are really ruthless. Really ruthless. When Yi Fala said this, Madman and Fortune God were so shocked that their jaws almost dropped. Even Ba Chai couldn't help but widen his eyes. Of course, the group of brothers behind Su Yun were just as shocked as them. Such a famous female drug lord in Shenzhen actually fell in love with Su Yun. This was definitely a big news. Chen Feng and Hua Xiaolu looked at each other. Han Zhan and Gong Sun Lung gasped. Fan Shuang'er was disgusted and secretly cursed Su Yun, this big radish. He must have seduced her again. Otherwise, how could such a strong woman say that she loved him in front of so many people? Boss. Retreat. It was at this moment that Tibika shouted. At the same time, he pulled the trigger. His target was of course Su Yun. Everyone understood the principle of capturing the leader first to capture the bandits. With Tibika's many years of combat experience, he clearly knew that Su Yun was the leader of these people. These people were all well-trained special forces, and Su Yun was the king of the soldiers. When Tibika shouted, Su Yun dodged to the side. No matter what happened at this time, Su Yun knew very well that there would be bullets waiting for him. Sure enough, the moment Tibika's voice fell, Su Yun clearly felt a bullet graze the hair on his ear. This feeling was very exciting, and it left a lingering fear. Perhaps only those who had experienced it could understand. Ba Chai also quickly put away his desire to watch the gossip and quickly retreated from the back door under the cover of Piawa. Because Su Yun and the others didn't know the situation here, they didn't expect there to be a secret door. Too many things happened in an instant. When Yadbang pulled the trigger, before the bullet could shoot, his forehead was pierced by Han Zhan's bullet. He fell backward heavily. Piawa, who was also covering for Ba Chai, was also killed by Chen Feng without hesitation. Chapter 447. The scene suddenly became chaotic. Ba Chai was someone they could not let go of. Su Yun immediately chased after him. He could not let Ba Chai escape. To deal with Ba Chai, he had to eliminate him completely. This would serve as a warning to the other drug lords in the Golden Triangle. It would make them wake up and ask themselves if they wanted money or their lives. Seeing Su Yun rush out, Han Zhan stood up and shouted, Azure Dragon, I'll leave this to you. I'll go support the boss. Gather here after this. If you can't find him, the cuckoo's call will be the signal. After saying the last word, Han Zhan's figure also disappeared behind the secret door. It was indeed worrying to be alone in such a place. With Black Dragon's support, the others could rest assured. However, they were also facing danger. Tibika was not as easy to deal with as Yadbang and Piawar. He had many years of combat experience, such as the Iraq War, the Gulf War, and the Afghan War. He mingled in a huge mercenary group and escaped death many times to become who he was today. Originally, he wanted to hide forever after making a huge mistake. However, in the end, he could not resist the temptation of Ba Chai's salary of up to $20,000 a month. He quickly helped Ba Chai recruit a large group of mercenaries. Compared to those in the war-torn areas, most of the armed mercenaries that came with Tibika were older and valued comfort more. No one would have thought that these war killers, who thought that the Golden Triangle was more comfortable, would be killed overnight by the 6 members of the Dragon Fury team without even knowing how they died. Every member of the Dragon Fury team was a well-trained combat expert. Therefore, it was simply wishful thinking for Tibika to escape from Chen Feng, Gong Sun Lang, Hua Xiaolu, and Fan Shuanger. However, Tibika's desire to survive made him take the risk. He had been on the battlefield for more than 20 years and earned $4 to $5 million. If he returned to his poor little country, this money would be enough for him to live comfortably for several lifetimes. He had to survive in order to show the value of the wealth he had accumulated. He had to carry on his ancestral line and pass on his wealth. This was the belief that had kept Tibika alive for so many years. But this time, he really chose the wrong opponent. A real combat expert was different from those crazy battlefield lunatics he had faced before. The quality of the Dragon Fury team was absolutely unmatched. It's not too late for you to surrender. Chen Feng angrily rebuked, We, Hua Xia soldiers, will never kill innocent people. If you continue to resist, don't blame us for killing you on the spot. If you want to do something, think carefully before you do it. Don't be stubborn. We'll give you a chance. Put down your weapon and step forward. Tibika would not do such a stupid thing. Even if I surrender, I will only be sentenced to death. Don't try to lie to me. I will not surrender. In the mercenary world of this world, there have always been rumors about how powerful Hua Xia soldiers are. Then let me see how Hua Xia soldiers do things today. Yi Fala's eyes widened. Soldiers. Su Yun was actually related to people in the army. Her brain buzzed for a moment. She should have thought of it earlier. The people that Su Yun asked her to help him find were from the military. Su Yun could easily enter and leave the hotel where important military figures were staying without causing any trouble. Obviously, Su Yun was definitely not an ordinary person. It was her fault. She had trusted Su Yun too much. From the beginning to the end, Su Yun had many suspicious things, but she had never doubted him. Even if she had doubts, she would comfort herself and smooth things over. Everything that happened today, if one were to summarize it, Yifala could only blame herself. It was she who fell into the whirlpool of emotions that caused her to completely fail. The madman's drug addiction suddenly kicked in. He could not control himself. I want. As he spoke, he had already reached out to take the drugs that were already on the table. A pack of 500 grams, a total of 1,600 packs of extremely pure heroin. Stop. Fan Shuonger aimed her gun at the madman. But unexpectedly, when the madman took a step forward, Tibika saw the opportunity and suddenly rushed out and pushed the madman away. The madman's head hit the ground. The madman, who was already a little confused, blacked out and fainted. While the others were distracted, Tibika had already strangled Yifala's neck and pointed his gun at Yifala's temple. Don't move. Tibika hid behind Yifala. I know this person is very important to you. She is a wanted criminal. She must know a lot of important things. She knows about the huge underground drug network in Huaxia. If you don't want her to die, put down the weapon in your hand. Fan Shuonger shouted coldly. Stop daydreaming. Let go of the hostage. Compared to Fan Shuonger's impulsiveness, Chen Feng, Gong Sun Lang, and Hua Xiaolu were much calmer. After all, they had more experience than Fan Shuonger. They also knew the importance of Yifala. They must not let Tibika hurt her. Chen Feng said calmly, Don't do anything rash. Think of your own escape route. Put down the gun and turn back. With this meat shield, it's enough for me to leave here. As Tibika spoke, he began to retreat slowly towards the back door. He shouted, If you don't want her to die, put down the gun. I'll count to 3. If you don't do as I say, don't blame me for being rude. 1. Tibika counted and carefully moved towards the back door. 2. At this time, Chen Feng was already hesitating. Gong Sun Lung had to look at Chen Feng. They could not let this woman die. Were they really going to put down their weapons? But once they put down their weapons, the other party would have a gun and they would fall into a passive situation. Then at this time, a voice from the back door completely broke the current situation. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tibika, it's really not easy for us to catch you. The sound of this voice made Tibika feel as if he was struck by lightning and smashed into the divine gate. He suddenly turned his head and saw a familiar face. He could not help but exclaim, Wild Wolf? The sudden appearance of this stranger raised everyone's vigilance. Hua Xiaolu's finger was always on the trigger. He could pull it at any time. The person called Wild Wolf held a Colt Eagle 9mm double-action pistol in his hand. He pointed it at the back of Tibika's head casually and explained to Chen Feng and the others with a helpless face, I'm sorry, brothers. I definitely did not mean to disturb you. It's just that this bastard has been on the run for 5 years. I spent a lot of effort to find out that he's here in the Golden Triangle. I'm Wild Wolf Li Wei from the Wolf's Fong Mercenary. I hope you can give me some face. We Wolf's Fong Mercenary have to deal with the traitor who killed our brothers personally. Please be magnanimous. Wolf's Fong Mercenary. This name was definitely famous. Chen Feng was dumbfounded. You're really Wolf King Yi Chen's man? Yes. Wild Wolf Li Wei laughed. Our boss is here too. It's just a small matter, so we didn't bother him. Hee, our boss also admires all of you. The members of the Dragon Fury team are indeed extraordinary. Li Wei pointed at the back of Tibika's head with his pistol. Hurry up and let him go. Do you really want to make the Wolf King angry? After so many years, Tibika's legs would still tremble when he heard the name Wolf King Yi Chen. He escaped from the Wolf's Fong Mercenary because he killed his brothers for a sum of money. This was an unforgivable taboo in the Wolf's Fong Mercenary. That was why he chose to escape before Yi Qian got angry. He did not expect that after so many years, he would still be found. Tibika released Yi Fala and threw the gun in his hand to the ground. Just when Qian Feng wanted to ask something, a figure suddenly appeared behind Wild Wolf Li Wei. In the dark, Qian Feng and the others could not see the face of the figure clearly. They could only see a vague outline. "Boss, why are you here?" Li Wei was slightly stunned. The figure took a step forward, revealing a wise and determined face. He smiled and said to Qian Feng and the others, "Brothers of the Dragon Fury team, if it's possible, please help me say hello to Yen Long. Tell him that I, Yi Qian, admire him very much. Originally, I wanted to help him hunt down Bar Chai. But I saw that some of my brothers went to help him, so I didn't do anything unnecessary. Moreover, our identities are somewhat conflicting. Hee, but this does not affect my admiration for him." The leader of the Wolf's Fong mercenary, Wolf King Yi Qian. Damn, this is definitely a name that will resound throughout the world. I did not expect him to appreciate Boss Su Yun so much. Qian Feng was stunned for a long time. "I will definitely pass on the message. If you don't mind, leave this person to us." Yi Qian continued humbly. Hua Xiaolu was also full of admiration for the legendary figure. "I don't mind." Gong Sunlang also shook his head. "What's there to mind?" Wolf King Yi Qian and Wild Wolf Li Wei have appeared in the Golden Triangle. Who knows where the genius sniper Grey Wolf Mo Long is hiding? If they said that they minded, it would be troublesome if Lu Tianchen the vicious wolf blew some poisonous smoke in. No. What proof do you have? What if you are with them? Fan Wushuang always used her actions to interpret an old saying, "The newborn calf is not afraid of the tiger." Yi Qian smiled slightly, took off a string of things from his hand, and threw it directly to Fan Wushuang. I, Yi Qian, never lie. Please pass this to Yen Long. I hope to be friends with him. The wolf's tooth bracelet is my proof of identity. If he takes this, all the brothers of the Wolf's Fong mercenary will do anything for him. Also, I have a reason for doing this. I have heard of his deeds, and I admire him for doing so much for the country. I also heard that he seemed to have left the Dragon Fury team for some reason. Hee, help me pass on the message that the Wolf's Fong mercenary welcomes him." Qian Feng smiled slightly. "Wolf King, you can take him away. We will also pass on your message to our boss. But I can tell you one last thing, our boss will not go. Although he has temporarily left the Dragon Fury team, he will always be the boss of the Dragon Fury team." Chapter 448. You let them go just like that? Fan Shuang'er glared at him. What right does he have? If Yen Long knows that you let him go, I'll see how you explain it. To them, Tibika was just an insignificant person. As long as Yefala and the madman were still there would be no problem. Yefala was the most important person. As long as Yefala could be safely brought back to the country, then everything would be fine. Everything would go smoothly. Qian Feng took the bracelet from Fan Shuang'er and looked at the wolf fangs on it. He smiled faintly. "Yin Long, you don't know what the Wolf Fong mercenary is. Since the Wolf King Yi Qian is here, he will naturally have his brothers by his side. Just like when our boss is here, we have to help him even if we have to risk being fired. I don't dare to say how strong they are, but at least they are not much weaker than us. For example, that Wild Wolf Li Wei is definitely one of the top tracking and anti-tracking experts in the world. He is not worse than T-Rex at all." Hua Xiaolu frowned slightly. He was the best tracking and anti-tracking candidate in the entire Dragon Brigade. He did not expect that person to be on par with him. He was the one who found this place just by following the smell of pistachio shells. But on second thought, it was true that because the other party did not even have the slightest clue of the pistachio shells, he was actually able to find the person he was looking for in the primeval forest of the Golden Triangle. Although it took a long time, it was definitely amazing. Gong Sun Leng nodded. "I've heard of Yi Qian. This is definitely a super mercenary group that causes headaches for many international organizations. But they are different from other mercenaries. I don't care. Anyway, you let him go. You have to explain it to your boss later. Fan Shuang'er snorted. Obviously, she was unhappy that the Wolf King Yi Qian had taken Tibian away from them. It was very embarrassing. Hua Xiaolu shrugged. Should we help our boss? He and Black Dragon have chased Tibian for so long and still could not catch Tibian. Will there be any accidents? Wait here. Don't worry. Boss and Black Dragon are much better than us. Gong Sun Lang gave his partner another blow. If Brother Black Dragon wants to play for real, we might not be able to win against him in this primitive jungle. With his help, Boss will definitely be fine. Chen Feng shook his head. Cold Dragon, I think it's better not to be so confident. It's not easy to catch people in this primitive jungle. Ba Chai has lived here for so many years. He's much more familiar with the terrain here. Boss and Black Dragon should be here for the first time. It's hard to say if there are any traps or secret passages here. Azure Dragon's words make sense. Hua Xiaolu nodded and said, Then I think we'd better go and help. Wait. Chen Feng also blurted out, If even Lao Da and the Black Dragon can't handle it, we won't be of any use. Boss was now a super expert, and Black Dragon's current strength was already on the verge of breaking through the bottleneck. It's not an exaggeration to say that the two of them are better than the four of us. Speaking of Su Yun's breakthrough to become a super expert, Hua Xiaolu's interest was piqued. Hey, what level of strength do you think that Wolf King Yi Qian has? At least I can't feel it. If you can't feel it, it means he's stronger than you. Gong Sun Lang said, and not just a little bit stronger. I also used my breath to test it. That wild wolf Li Wei's strength should be similar to ours, but I can't see Wolf King Yi Qian's strength at all. I'm afraid he's also a super expert who broke through the bottleneck. There's no doubt about that. Chen Feng said with certainty, Yi Qian's strength is definitely above a super expert. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to become a superstar on the world's evil spirit list. The bounty is so high, Humph. It's not something an ordinary person can do. Fan Shuang'er was upset. Can you guys stop talking about that Yi Qian? Will it kill you to care about Yen Long? They haven't come back yet. Aren't you worried at all? The three of them shook their heads. To be honest, they weren't worried at all because they knew each other too well. Moreover, all the dangers in Ba Kai's base had been cleared. The Wolf Fang mercenaries had probably swept the periphery, so there was basically no danger to speak of. While they were chatting, Su Yun and Han Zhan walked in one after another. Yi Farah sat on the side, not even having the strength to look up at Su Yun. The huge gap and hurt in her heart were indescribable. Her mind was blank. There was nothing. Only emptiness. Madman was still unconscious on the ground, motionless. Boss, how's it going? Chen Feng asked as he got up. Su Yun's expression was a little helpless. Ba Chai is really too cunning. He must have a secret passage in the base. Black Dragon and I chased him so far, but we didn't even see a shadow. Abachai could not have been faster than us, and he must have had some other way to go. It's too dark outside. We can't find the secret passage in a short time. I'm afraid that by the time we find it, Ba Chai will have already fled back to Thailand. What should we do? Fan Shuang'er was indescribably disappointed. Ba Chai ran away, and even his men were taken away. We are really in a difficult situation. Hearing Fan Shuang'er's words, Su Yun suddenly realized that Tibika was not there. Even if he was dead, there should be a corpse, right? Chen Feng handed the bracelet with wolf teeth to Su Yun. Tibika was taken away. They said that they were dealing with a traitor. Tibika isn't important to us, but he might mean something to them. Su Yun took the bracelet and was slightly startled. His expression instantly relaxed a lot. He looked at the things on the bracelet doubtfully. Wolf teeth, black gem. Is it the Wolf King Yi Qian? Gong Sun Lang said, We are also surprised to see the leader of the Wolf Fang mercenaries here. Su Yun smiled. This is for me? Chen Feng said, Well, he also asked Fan Shuang'er to help him pass a message to you. Su Yun looked at Fan Shuang'er curiously. What did he say? You guys are really heroes, aren't you? Even your expressions are the same. Fan Shuang'er was speechless. He said that he wants to be friends with you. This bracelet is a symbol of his identity. With this, all the brothers of the Wolf Fong mercenaries will do anything for you. Also, he admires you for doing so much for the country. He said that the door of the Wolf Fong mercenaries is open for you, and you are welcome to join. Well, I have said what I need to say. If you want to join the mercenaries, absolutely no one will stop you. Su Yun grinned and said to himself, Yi Qian. Suddenly, Su Yun strode out of the room and shouted to the night sky, If I am not Dragon's Fury's man, I really want to join your Wolf Fong. But unfortunately, I can't go now. Even if I am not Dragon's Fury's man, my heart belongs to Dragon's Fury. If you want to come, Dragon's Fury will also welcome you. Fan Shuang'er thought that Su Yun was crazy to shout so loudly. Then, Yi Qian's reply came from the night sky. His voice was very far away. Thank you. But my heart will always belong to the Wolf Fong. If there is a chance, I will treat you to a drink. This kind of conversation in the night instantly startled all the people working in the Bat Chai base. Most of these people were local farmers who planted poppies. After hearing this voice, they knew that something must have happened. They hurriedly put on their clothes and began to flee. To these local farmers, they were ignorant. They were just trying to earn a living. Su Yun and the others had no right to harm them. It was chaos outside, but Su Yun and the others did not move in the room. They waited until the panic outside slowly disappeared, and the people who should escape had also escaped. Only then did Su Yun plan the next step. He arranged for Chen Feng to bring Gong Sun Lang and Hua Xiaolu to drive the 3 SUVs that were parked on the opposite side of the river. There was a road behind the base, so they only needed to take a detour. There was no need to cross the river. Han Zhan began to clean up the scene with Fan Shuang'er. 800,000 grams of heroin, 1,600 small bags of 500 grams, were placed neatly on the table. These things would definitely shock the entire Huaxia if they brought them back. Su Yun tied the madman up tightly with a rope. He glanced at Yi Fala. Do you hate me a lot? There was nothing in Yi Fala's empty eyes. She used an extremely low voice to say, I don't hate. I have nothing to hate. Perhaps you are right. I originally had nothing. Su Yun, thank you. I'm sorry. Su Yun took a deep breath. I admit, I have indeed hurt your trust in some way, but I have no choice. I don't want these things to continue to harm people in the country. I hope you can understand. At the same time, I also understand your hatred for me. Yi Fala, even so, I still want to ask you to explain everything clearly when you return to the country. Yi Fala's mouth revealed a forced smile. Su Yun, you are asking for too much. I have already given you everything, but you are still not satisfied. He, all right. What do you want to know? When the time comes, I will tell you everything. But I have a condition. What condition? Su Yun asked. But Yi Fala refused to say anything more. She directly closed her eyes and did not say a word. At this time, Fan Shuang'er walked over. Seeing that Su Yun did not tie Yi Fala up, she wanted to do something. But Su Yun raised his hand to stop her. No need to tie her up. I believe in her. She will not escape. She is a criminal. Why do you believe in her? Fan Shuang'er was a little jealous. Because she believed in me. After Su Yun finished speaking, he directly turned around. Because he thought of something, he directly strode out of the room where the drugs were. After watching Su Yun stride away, Fan Shuang'er snorted and said to Yi Fala, He believes in you, but it does not mean that I do. I cannot tie you up, but it does not mean that I will let my guard down. You better not think of any tricks. Do you understand? Chapter 449. Su Yun naturally had his reasons for leaving. He thought of a place, the room where Ba Chai had met them at noon. The room had the stolen Buddha head from Wanfoshan Mountain. Since the Buddha head belonged to Huaxia, Su Yun naturally wouldn't let it wander outside. He only remembered that the Buddha head was rumored to have been auctioned at a sky-high price of hundreds of millions on the black market, but to Hua Xia, it was definitely a priceless treasure. Thinking of this, Su Yun quickened his pace. He was a little worried that someone would have taken the Buddha head away in the chaos just now. If that was the case, it would be troublesome. They were all local farmers. It would be impossible to find the Buddha head if they simply dug a hole and buried it. Unless you dug 3 feet into the ground, but with so many drug lords in the Golden Triangle, who would agree to that? Su Yun finally found the room he had been in at noon. Fortunately, the door of the room was still locked. Su Yun raised his foot and kicked the door open fiercely. He strode in and saw the undamaged Buddha head at a glance. He unceremoniously took the Buddha's head off the altar, then tore off a large piece of curtain cloth from the window and carefully wrapped the Buddha's head in it. If he brought this thing back, it would probably be able to easily offset the mistakes of those boys, right? The country's treasures could only be kept within the country. No one was allowed to let it wander outside by any means. This was Su Yun's basic principle. Just as Su Yun turned to leave, he unexpectedly made an unexpected discovery and gain. In the corner of the room, 3 black suitcases sat there quietly. Su Yun was all too familiar with these things. They were all US dollars that he had brought back. One suitcase was worth $16.5 million. Fair and honest, shining US dollars. Su Yun strode forward and opened the suitcases. The 3 suitcases of US dollars were actually untouched. It seemed that Bar Chai hadn't had time to take the money away. Phew, to be able to recover so much money that had flowed out of the country was enough to make Su Yun feel gratified. Bringing the cash and Buddha head found in this room, he returned to the room they had just been in. The 3 cars had already driven in from behind. A few people were loading the drugs into the 3 cars. "What are you holding?" Fan Shuanger asked curiously. Su Yun threw the 3 black suitcases into the car. "Stolen goods. What about this?" Fan Shuanger pointed at the thing wrapped in the curtain cloth. Su Yun dared to throw tens of millions of dollars into the car, but this thing wrapped in the curtain cloth, he carefully took it, so she was more curious about it. Su Yun smiled. "This is what you have to report back to your superiors. Trust me, as long as you have this, you won't be punished at all." When one's contributions outweighed their mistakes, everything else was no longer an issue. Our Shizuan is a sensible person. He's not so rigid and harsh. Qian Feng threw the last few bags of heroin into the trunk of the car. "I'm not worried that Master will make things difficult for us. I'm just worried that Ying Long won't forgive us. He's the captain now. If we don't get his permission, he'll definitely fall out with us. He'll think that we don't take him seriously or something like that. Ha ha ha, you didn't take him seriously in the first place." Hua Xiaolu smiled and said, "Ying Long is not stupid. He can see it. It's not that we don't take him seriously, but if we really tell him why we're here, do you think Ying Long will let us come?" Gong Sun Lang said, "Definitely not. With his rigid character, he'll definitely write a written application and then wait for the higher-ups to approve it. This delay is 2 days. When we come, everything will be too late." Han Zhan smiled helplessly. Everyone has their own principles. Ying Long is like this because of his status. After all, he's the captain now. He has his own difficulties. "That's right." Su Yun nodded and patted Qian Feng's shoulder. "Don't argue with Ying Long in the future. After all, he's your superior. He's the captain. You have the obligation to obey his orders and tasks. This is a matter of principle. You don't have any reason to discriminate." Qian Feng was still a little unconvinced, but he didn't say anything. Hua Xiaolu's intestines straightened a little. He couldn't be happy if he didn't say anything. No matter who the captain is, there's only one captain in our eyes. "Boss, the team hasn't issued a notice to remove you, so you'll always be the boss. Although Ying Long is the captain, there must be 2 words in front of it: acting captain." Su Yun rubbed Hua Xiaolu's hair, angry and amused at the same time. "Okay, brat, acting captain is still captain. Don't bite the words in front of me." Are you trying to say that you only obey my orders? Yes. Gong Sun Lang also said, Boss, you're right. It's not that we don't accept Ying Long, but we really can't treat him as our boss. There's only one boss in our hearts, and Ying Long is just one of our brothers. That's it. Okay, then you listen to me. I order you to cooperate with Ying Long's work. Since Shizuan asked him to be the acting captain, it means that he's more suitable than you guys. He has a clearer and more rational way of thinking. Su Yun said, Today, you guys promise me that when you go back, you'll cooperate with Ying Long's work. Hurry up, don't make me angry. The few of them were helpless and could only mumble and vaguely. Su Yun knew that it was useless to say more. Things like faith and idols were like this. Once you recognized one, it would be difficult to accept a second one. Boss, everything is packed. Han Zhan said, Are we going to take this person back? Su Yun looked at Yi Fala and nodded. Yes, this is a very important person to this matter. She's the main hub of the entire Shenzhong city's underground heroine. Only she knows all the people and nests involved in Shenzhong city, and only she can reveal everything. We must take her safely back to Shenzhong city. Fan Shuang coughed lightly. If that's the case, then I'll personally take care of the escort. Yen Long, don't deny it. There's something between you and this woman that can't be said. I'm doing this for your own good. If your heart flutters and you let her go, it will be troublesome. Su Yun smiled bitterly. Although he didn't want to treat Yi Fala like this, he wasn't someone without principles. In front of principles, Su Yun wouldn't care who the other party was. Even if the drug dealer in front of him was Ruan Qingshuang, he wouldn't tolerate it. Since Fan Shuang said so, Su Yun didn't dispel her positive attitude. He originally didn't know how to face Yi Fala. Even if Fan Shuang didn't take the initiative to take on this heavy responsibility, Su Yun planned to directly throw this matter to Qian Feng. Can you take care of a girl? How about I do it? Qian Feng frowned. Fan Shuang was his partner, and he had an obligation to help her. You think she's pretty, right? F*ck off, pervert. Fan Shuang spat. Just be a good driver and don't have any tricks. Even if it's a female prisoner, I won't let you touch her. F*ck. Qian Feng was ruthlessly splashed with dirty water by Fan Shuang. He swore that he absolutely didn't have any crooked thoughts. Alas, in this world, a dog bites Lu Dongbin. It doesn't recognize good intentions. Soon, Su Yun made the arrangements. He and Han Zhan would drive a car and lead the way. Qian Feng would drive Fan Shuang and Yi Fala. Yi Fala would be under Fan Shuang's care. Gong Sun Lung would drive Hua Xiaolu and Madman. Madman would be under Hua Xiaolu's care. After everything was arranged, Su Yun brought the Buddha's head and money with him. In order to eliminate the root of the problem, he found a barrel of gasoline for emergency use in the car. Then, he began to splash it on the important places of Ba Kai's base. Han Zhan and the others also began to help. They pulled out all the gasoline from the parked cars in the base. The few of them lit a fire in the important places. Then, they drove away from the base and bypassed the river. After driving out of the Bat Chai base, Su Yun parked the car on the opposite bank of the river. He watched the raging fire burn for an hour. Only when the Bat Chai base was completely engulfed in a sea of fire did he feel relieved. Just as they were about to leave, a car appeared out of nowhere and blocked their way. The atmosphere became tense in an instant. Everyone was ready to fight at any time, including Su Yun, who had also entered a comprehensive preparation for battle. However, the person who got out of the car raised one hand, indicating that he didn't mean to hurt them. It turned out to be a one-armed man. Friend, who are you? Su Yun understood what he meant and also jumped out of the car. Han Zhan and the others got out of the car and stood behind Su Yun. The person on the other side smiled. You must be Captain Yen Long, right? Su Yun was stunned and immediately reacted. He shook the Wolf Fong bracelet in his hand. Are you from the Wolf Fong mercenary army? Yes. The person on the other side didn't hesitate at all. My name is Wu Huanfeng. You can call me Flying Wolf or Old Wu. Captain Yenlong, our Wolf King, has left. However, he suddenly thought of something and asked me to inform you. Please speak. Su Yun was secretly impressed. He really didn't expect Flying Wolf Wu Huanfeng to be a one-armed man. After all, his throwing knives were comparable to Yen Men's elder Jin. Wu Huanfeng continued to smile. Wolf King asked me to tell you that he once heard from a friend that the stolen Buddha's head on Hua Xia's Thousand Buddha Mountain is here in Ba Chai. If you are interested, you can go and look for it. I don't know if I said it too late, but you have already burned down Ba Chai's nest. Su Yun smiled faintly. Thank you and Wolf King for the reminder. You don't have to worry about the Buddha's head. I will go back safely. This is Hua Xia's cultural heritage. I won't let it wander around in this place full of war and evil. That's good. I have conveyed what I wanted to convey. If fate wills it, we will meet again. Wu Huanfeng directly returned to the car and quickly left. It seemed that the Wolf Fong mercenary army had other things to do here. There wasn't much time to waste. Su Yun called his brothers to get in the car and set off. Chapter 450. Cars coming out of the southern border were easy targets, and Su Yun and the others were no exception. Although they crossed the border through the desolate virgin forest, and there were no direct witnesses to prove that they crossed the border, the various signs still made the people at the border feel that something was wrong. Therefore, as soon as they entered the southern border of Hua Xia, Su Yun and the others were followed. Fortunately, Han Zhan was more careful. When he went out this time, he was afraid that there would be more problems, so he stole the secret order that they would only carry when they were on a mission. When the border police who were investigating them saw it, they were a little dumbfounded. They didn't expect that the people in these cars would be directly subordinate to such a high level. However, because they were afraid that the other party was a drug dealer, they still called the higher-ups to confirm. The phone number on the secret order was directly connected to the office of the Dragon Brigade's deputy squadron leader, Wang Yi. When Wang Yi received the call, he was very calm. Although he didn't know why these guys who were usually very obedient ran out and risked breaking such a big discipline, he still wasn't angry. After confirming their identities with the people at the border, Wang Yi asked the other party to give the phone to his people, the leader. Wang Yi's meaning was very clear. He wanted to see who would bear the main responsibility for this matter. The people at the border could see even with their noses that these people all followed Su Yun's lead, so they directly gave the phone to Su Yun. Su Yun was stunned, but he still picked up the phone. Just as he took the phone and put it to his ear, he heard Wang Yi's voice. Boy, do you know what kind of trouble you've caused? If it's unrelated, just tell me directly. I'll get you out of here right away. There's no need to make such a mess, do you understand? Master, Su Yun said dryly, this matter has nothing to do with them. The cause was just a personal matter of mine. However, this is no longer the case. It involves the interests of the country. We have found something. When they bring it back, you will know that what they have done is greater than what they have done. If you want to punish them, punish me. It has nothing to do with them. Hearing Su Yun's voice, Wang Yi's eyes almost popped out. Su Yun, what did you bring them to do, you bastard? I really should have thought of this earlier. It must be because of you that they snuck out without any regard for discipline. Sigh, good. You're really something. You've been gone for so long, but you can still affect my team to this extent. What do you want me to say about you? When I see you again, I'll settle this score with you. When Su Yun heard Wang Yi's words, he knew that Wang Yi's anger towards the others had mostly dissipated. Don't worry, they have definitely made a great contribution this time and found a long-lost national treasure. They will bring it back to you in one piece. You will be grinning from ear to ear when you see it. What exactly is it? Wang Yi frowned. He knew Su Yun well. Su Yun would not talk nonsense. However, if you want this thing, you have to promise me one thing. Seeing that Wang Yi's interest was piqued, Su Yun immediately began to raise conditions. He knew Wang Yi too well. If you don't promise me, I will never let them bring this thing back. None of them know what this thing is. Shizun, you know me. I will do what I say. Wang Yi was so angry that smoke came out of his nose. You. Fine, you're good. You're all grown up. What conditions? Say it. Write an approval for them. Write that it was you who arranged for them to carry out a secret mission in the Golden Triangle to find the lost Buddha head of Wanfo Mountain. Su Yun said lightly, they completed the mission perfectly. Not only can't you punish them, but you also have to praise and reward them. Shizun, since they found this thing for you, it's not too much for you to hold a commendation ceremony, right? Wang Yi was stunned for a long time before he came back to his senses. He could not even believe what Su Yun said. The stolen Buddha head of Wanfo Mountain had been circulating around the world for hundreds of times. He had wanted to track it down many times, but every time, he would lose track of it halfway. Now, Su Yun actually found it for him? This coincidence was too inconceivable. Su Yun continued, how about it? This condition is not too much, right? Shizun, I know that you are a broad-minded person. You won't care about such a small thing with us. Don't you think so? Brat, you better not lie to me. The Buddha head of Wanfo Mountain is a national treasure. If you make a mistake, my commendation ceremony will be a big embarrassment. Wang Yi snorted. Although he said that, he was really happy in his heart. One must know that the Buddha's head was too important to Huaxia. It was really too important. Don't worry. Su Yun, 3 days later, I will have them and the thing in front of you in perfect condition. Wang Yi did not know what to do with Su Yun. He could not do anything about it. He would always make such a big contribution for you. If they brought back the Buddha head of Wanfo Mountain, what reason would he have to punish them? Such a precious national treasure was found. It was not too much to give them a first-class merit. After hanging up the phone, Su Yun came out of the room. Chen Feng and the others stared at Su Yun. Everyone was very curious. They wanted to know what Wang Yi said to Su Yun. Han Zhan regretted showing the secret document to the border guards. If he had known, he would have just barged in. Although the border guards were very polite to them, they did not know what kind of punishment they would face when they got back. Before they got into the car, Chen Feng could not help but say, my dear brother, just tell me what Shizun said to you. Let us know a little. This way, we will know when we get back. Now we don't know anything. My heart is so cold. He asked me who was the one who brought you out. Su Yun said, I said it's you. Chen Feng looked at Su Yun's eyes and sighed. Then he looked up at the sky and said to himself, fine. If I don't go to hell, who will? I was the one who instigated them. I should be responsible. At worst, I will be fired. Boss, I will rely on you. You will take me in, right? You want beauty. Su Yun smiled helplessly. This guy was really optimistic. The others really believed Su Yun's words. They all lowered their heads. Han Zhan spoke first. It's my fault. I will take all the responsibility when we get back. Don't talk nonsense. I am the oldest. It is my fault that I couldn't control you. Let me take the blame. Gong Sun Lang said, I have never made any mistakes. I am not punished. If you want to punish me, punish me. Hua Xiaolu also joined in, no, let me take the blame. I'm the youngest, and you've always taken care of me. You've never let me suffer any losses. If I don't stand up now, I'm not a good person. It's settled then. I'll take the blame. No one can snatch it from me when we get back. Looking at the three of them quarreling, Fan Shuanger suddenly shouted, Enough. You don't have to take the blame. I will take the blame. I am the latest to join Dragon's Fury. If I am fired, the special forces will suffer the least loss. Plus, I am a woman. You can go and pick new people. What are you talking about? Chen Feng frowned. What's wrong with being a woman? Women are stronger than many men. At least they are not afraid. We are partners. If I can't even protect you, am I still a man? Don't say anything. Go back and listen quietly behind me. Seeing their performance, Su Yun was very satisfied. This was what true brothers were like. Alright, you guys don't need to fight. Master has his own plans for how to punish you guys. This happened because of me. I owe you a favor. I will remember it here. Patting his chest, Su Yun jumped directly into the car. They stopped talking and got into the car. At this point, they could only take one step at a time. No matter how much they argued, it would be useless. When they got back, it would be Master who decided to punish whoever was punished. After 2 days, they finally arrived at Shenzhong City. Su Yun had already contacted Qin Wan'er in advance and asked her to pass on the message to Chen Wei. He said that he had already brought the people back for them. The goods and the stolen money were also recovered. He asked them to wait for him at the Shenzhong City police station. After all, Yi Fala was from Shenzhong. He would definitely be interrogated there. However, this matter was investigated by the Hadong police, so Chen Wei and Qin Wan'er had to come as well. This was the only way to ensure that the Shenzhong police would not be bribed. After arriving at Shenzhong, Han Zhan, Qian Feng, Gong Sunlang, Hua Xiaolu, and Fan Shuang left. Su Yun gave the Buddha's head to Han Zhan and told him that it was very important and that he must personally hand it to Wang Yi. The few of them didn't stay idle either. They rushed to the army without stopping to rest. Su Yun finally met up with Chen Wei and Qin Wan'er at the entrance of the Shenzhong police station. He did not want to continue to be involved in this matter, so he prepared to leave immediately after telling them what to do. He wanted to rush back to Hadong and see how Deep Chong had fallen into the deep pit of heroin. Seeing Yi Fala and Madman in the car, as well as the terrifying amount of heroin and money, Qin Wan really suspected that she was dreaming. After she was brought back to Hadong, she always thought that this matter was over. They would not be able to find any evidence of Yi Fala's crimes. She did not expect that Su Yun would give her such a big surprise after just a week. Chief Chen, this is the video of the transaction between Yi Fala and Ba Chai. Su Yun handed the video pen to Chen Wei. Ba Chai ran away. I also tried to chase after him, but I was not familiar with the terrain of the Golden Triangle. I did not catch him. You have already done a great job. I can't believe it. Chen Wei's admiration came from the bottom of his heart. Su Yun, I really don't know what to say. I know that I should not ask, so I will not ask how you did it. But, please allow me to represent the people and Hua Xiao's police to express my most sincere respect to you. Chapter 451. Qin Wan'er couldn't hold back her curiosity. Su Yun, I can believe you when you say that you brought the people back from the Golden Triangle, but these 3 cars, you definitely couldn't have driven them back by yourself. Who helped you? I don't mean anything else. I just want to thank them for helping you. You guys have done a great thing. Really, I'm a little incoherent. Protecting their privacy was the best reward for them. Su Yun smiled. The rest is up to you guys. If there's nothing else to say, I'll leave first. Otherwise, the Shenzhong police will ask too much after seeing me. You know I don't like to deal with the police. Chen Wei heard this and smiled awkwardly. But what could he say? After all, Su Yun had helped him so much. It was better to swallow some words. Alright, there's one more thing. Su Yun turned to Chen Wei and said, Chief Chen, it's best to have your own people during the interrogation. They have people in the Shenzhong police. I don't know who the mole in the police station is, but I've recorded a number. It's the phone record of Yi Fala talking to him. I think this will be an important clue for you guys. Qin Wan'er had already taken out a pen and paper from her pocket. Su Yun quickly wrote down a line of numbers and said in a low voice, Don't beat the grass and scare the snake. Just know it yourself. The most important evidence is to get this person from Yi Fala's mouth. Otherwise, a phone call won't be enough to cover the crime. Wan'er, don't be too impulsive. Qin Wan'er nodded. She knew that Su Yun was doing this for her own good. I know. Don't worry. I'm not who I used to be. This time, you knocked me out and sent me back to Hadong. I didn't fall out with you. I know what I'm doing and I know how to control my emotions. Chief Chen gave me a long lesson. I've learned a lot. Okay, I should go. Before Su Yun left, he took one last look at Yi Fala. Along the way, Yi Fala's empty eyes suddenly had a look of awakening. She stared at Su Yun's eyes without blinking, as if she wanted to express something, but Su Yun couldn't understand. Su Yun only hoped that she could cooperate well so that this heroin cleansing could end smoothly. If Yi Fala didn't cooperate, they wouldn't be able to dig deeper into Shen Zhong's drug network. Su Yun didn't know what to say. Although he didn't do anything wrong, he still said, "I'm sorry. This may be the last time we see each other. I hope you can clearly recognize your own crimes." Yi Fala smiled. "This won't be the last time we see each other. Su Yun, I promise we will meet again." Su Yun didn't say anything. He stared at Yi Fala's eyes. He couldn't tell if she was provoking him or trying to express something. She was just stating a simple statement, an ordinary statement, as if she was telling Su Yun that they would really meet again. However, Su Yun didn't believe that with just 800,000 grams of heroin, it was enough to prove that they would never meet again. Goodbye. Su Yun didn't pay attention to Yi Fala anymore. He turned around and said to Qin Wan and Chen Wei. Before he left, he thought of something. He took out the Porsche Cayenne's car key from his pocket. "If you want to confiscate her property, this car is parked downstairs at Xingkai Hotel." Just as Chen Wei was about to take the key, Yi Fala suddenly said, "This car's license doesn't have my name on it. Su Yun, I told you that this is a gift from me. This car's name is yours. If you don't believe me, you can go and see for yourself. Your photo and ID number. I saw it in your wallet when I went to find you that night. This car is yours, not mine. No one has the right to confiscate it." Su Yun nodded, "But I don't like it. What should I do?" Qin Wan stared at Su Yun. "Then you can drive it away and sell it. If the car's license is in your name, then we really have no right to confiscate it. Unless you both admit that this car was given to you by her." "I admit it." Su Yun. Yi Fala smiled, "But I won't admit it. Because I know you will drive it back to see me. Yi Fala, if you can confess and cooperate, maybe you will be sentenced to a reprieve. But even if you don't get shot immediately, do you think I will come and send you off?" After Su Yun finished speaking, he smiled bitterly and shook his head. "Forget it, I'll just drive it away." Anyway, Chen Wei and the others didn't say that they had to keep it for him. After all, they all felt that Su Yun had done so many things, and the police couldn't give him any reward. Getting a luxury car was not bad. Su Yun held the car key in his hand and quickly disappeared from everyone's sight. He couldn't wait to go back to Hadong. After driving out of Xingkai Hotel, Su Yun directly ran to the gas station and filled up a tank of gas. Without stopping, he rushed to the highway. There was still time, so he could definitely reach Hadong before the afternoon. On the way, he called Ruan Qingshuang. When she heard that Su Yun would be back today, Ruan Qingshuang was naturally very happy. She asked him what he wanted to eat tonight. Su Yun didn't have any requirements for food. He just asked Ruan Qingshuang to inform Chong to wait for him at the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel before he returned to Hadong City. He said that he had something to talk to him about. Ruan Qingshuang thought that Su Yun wanted to invite all of them for dinner, so she not only invited Chong, but also the 3 tigers of Nanqing. Like Su Yun, Qian Feng, Han Zhan, and the other 4 were also on the way back. In the era of high-speed rail, the 5 of them bought tickets at the Shenzhong high-speed rail station and got on the train 5 minutes later. The speed of high-speed rail was very fast. They could travel more than 1,300 kilometers in less than 4 hours. It was 1/3 of the distance Su Yun drove back to Hadong City, but it was faster than Su Yun. When they arrived at the entrance of the headquarters, Han Zhan couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. He waved the curtain-wrapped thing in his hand at them. "Are you all ready? Who still hasn't eaten? Hurry up and eat." If you're punished by being grounded for 3 days without food, you won't starve to death. We're all full. Hua Xiaolu made a solemn vow. With the things I've eaten, let alone 3 days, I can even last 7 days. Qian Feng laughed and said, I'm afraid you'll die of thirst. Haha, do you think your bladder is so powerful that it can circulate your water for 7 days and still be able to drink? Gong Sun Lang also laughed when he heard that. Hua Xiaolu was completely speechless. These two guys were too disgusting. They were thinking too much. Unless they were forcing them to die, they wouldn't give them water, right? Fan Shuang'er frowned. Aren't you guys disgusting? Are you done? Shadow Dragon is already here. How can you guys still laugh? Their expressions began to become serious. They couldn't joke anymore because after the announcement, the person on duty had already informed the current acting captain of the Dragon Fury team, Hua Leitang, also known as Shadow Dragon. Seeing Hua Leitang walk towards them step by step, the expressions on everyone's faces changed into the same expression. Let's go. Hua Leitang didn't say anything. He picked them up and immediately took them in. The few of them knew very well that this was the calm before the storm. Finally, after arriving at the instructor's office of the Dragon Fury team, Hua Leitang's face became serious. His whole person looked gloomy and dark. He didn't say anything for more than 10 minutes. Shadow Dragon, if you have something to say, just say it. Don't be like this. It's not good for your health. Qian Feng tried to ease the atmosphere. Hua Leitang was angry. He slapped the table and stood up. Azure Dragon, I know you've always been dissatisfied with me. But let me tell you, please call me captain from now on. Whether I can convince you or not, I'm still the captain. This is the work arrangement of the higher-ups for me. Yes. Qian Feng snorted in his heart. The more Hua Leitang acted like this, the more he was dissatisfied. Acting captain. Whatever you say is right. Your words are orders. But you should also explain the work arrangement of the higher-ups clearly. It's acting captain, not captain. That's all I have to say. Hua Leitang was speechless by Qian Feng's words for a long time. Captain, Azure Dragon always speaks like this. Don't mind him. Han Zhan was older after all. He was more open-minded about some things. He also knew that it wasn't easy for Hua Leitang to be the acting captain. After all, he was taking over from Su Yun. No matter who said this, they probably wouldn't be able to convince everyone. After all, everyone only recognized Su Yun as their boss. Hua Leitang sneered. You don't have to comfort me. All of you can ignore me. I know that you're not the only one who doesn't want to submit to me. Black Dragon, to be honest, you don't want to submit to me either. Needless to say, the rest of you will definitely not submit to me because the only captain in your hearts is Yen Long, right? Yes. Qian Feng answered without hesitation. Hua Leitang nodded. Yes, very right. Then who the F***ck thought about me? I'm not satisfied with myself either. The only captain in my heart is Yen Long. I only have one boss in my heart. Who has thought about my feelings? Do you think that I like being the acting captain very much? Do you think that I'm doing this because I want the Dragon Fury team to be mine? Do I want that? I don't F***king want that. I also hope that you, Azure Dragon, can be the acting captain, Black Dragon. I can also be dissatisfied with you. I can also slander you in private with my brothers. I feel even better. Hua Leitang had never said these words before. No one expected Hua Leitang's inner world to be so tangled. To be honest, Qian Feng didn't feel good after hearing Hua Leitang's words. He had slandered Hua Leitang many times in private, and he had also gone against Hua Leitang many times in public. In any case, his dissatisfaction was written all over his face. I'm sorry, Shadow Dragon. Since Su Yun left, this was the first time Qian Feng apologized to Hua Leitang. Hua Leitang was stunned. Hua Leitang took a deep breath. We're all brothers. There's nothing to be sorry about. I also understand your thoughts. Although I don't know the reason why you guys went out this time, I can roughly guess that it must be because of the boss. Otherwise, you wouldn't have violated the rules. The few of them were stunned. They all lowered their heads and didn't say anything. Chapter 452. Su Yun's departure from the Dragon Fury team was something that no one wanted to happen, but life had to go on, training had to go on, and everything had to go on. Therefore, someone had to stand up and carry the banner of the Dragon Fury team so that its glory could continue. Someone had to bear such great pressure, but no one had thought that they would have to bear it. Wang Yi had never thought of forcing anyone to bear this pressure. He had been waiting for someone to take the initiative to stand up. He knew very well that only someone who took the initiative to stand up could truly bear the pressure and do a good job of everything after Su Yun's departure. And Hua Leitang was the person who stood up after thinking it through. When Wang Yi announced Hua Leitang as the acting captain, no one in the entire Dragon Fury team spoke up to support him. Everyone had strong opinions about Hua Leitang. Everyone felt that he was challenging Su Yun's authority by doing so. Everyone felt that he was heartless and wanted to replace Su Yun. They all felt that he wanted to replace Su Yun and advocated for power and position. They felt that he was disrespecting Su Yun. However, only he knew that everything he did was the exact opposite. It was because he respected Su Yun more. It was because he didn't want Su Yun's steel team to collapse after he left. He wanted to protect the most important thing to Su Yun. Therefore, he could only stand up with a bad reputation and make everyone feel that the Dragon Fury team was still there. Regardless of whether other people understood or not, he chose to do this. He did this so that when Su Yun returned one day, he could still see the Dragon Fury team, and not a broken and dispirited team. This was Hua Leitang's idea, but how many people really understood it? As time passed, Han Zhan and a few of the older youths seemed to slowly understand his good intentions. However, Qian Feng and Hua Xiaolu, these young and impetuous youths, were getting less and less convinced by him. Hua Leitang finally had the chance to vent all the unhappiness in his heart. He felt as if he had been released from a heavy burden. He didn't expect that Qian Feng's apology would make him feel that everything he had done was worth it. His biggest wish was to be understood. He was very grateful for this apology. He was grateful for Qian Feng's understanding and recognition. One apology was enough. I hope you can treat me as a brother. I'm really angry that you didn't tell me about this. Hua Leitang said, I really miss boss too. I also want to complain to him, but you guys don't give me a chance. Haha. Han Zhan also chuckled. We don't dare to take the risk. If you really don't let us go because of your principles, then we'll be dumbfounded. Don't deny it. You're too principled. If it weren't for your strong principles, we might really dare to ask for your permission. Hua Leitang nodded. He seemed to have realized his own problem, but he shook his head again. It depends on what kind of situation it is. You guys are usually so disciplined. When it comes to boss, no one can stay calm. Me too. As they were chatting, Wang Yi suddenly pushed the door open and entered. In an instant, the air in the entire room froze. No one dared to speak anymore. The energetic little old man in front of them scanned everyone's gaze with his bright little eyes. Everyone couldn't help but lower their heads after meeting his gaze. It seems like the atmosphere is pretty good. Very good. Wang Yi snorted and chuckled. How was it? Did you guys learn anything from this trip? Who wants to talk to me first? Who wants to talk to me first? The few of them lowered their heads. No one dared to say anything. This kind of thing was a very serious violation of discipline in an ordinary team, not to mention that they were members of the Special Forces. This kind of private trip was a very serious violation of discipline. Even if they were expelled, it wouldn't be too much. Hua Leitang suddenly stood up and walked to Wang Yi. I'm sorry, master. This is all my fault. Before they left, they asked for permission from me. I allowed them to go out on their own. They didn't even know that their actions were wrong. If you want to punish someone, punish me. It's all because of me. Suddenly, an innocent person had taken the blame. Of course, the others couldn't hold it in anymore. Chen Feng was a loyal friend. Although he would go against Hua Leitang because he became the team leader, he wouldn't let others take the blame for him. This has nothing to do with Shadow Dragon. I'm the mastermind. Chen Feng thought. Master, if you want to punish someone, punish me. Actually, the situation was like this. Han Zhan and Gong Sun Lang also fought to speak. Hua Xiaolu and Fan Shuang also began to take the blame. Everyone fought to take the blame and didn't want anyone else to be punished. Wang Yi suddenly circulated his qi and an invisible pressure burst out. Suddenly, everyone in the room stopped moving. No one expected their master to use pressure to suppress them. Don't say anything. Everyone is talking at once. It's so noisy that my head is going to explode. If you want to blame someone, blame that bastard Su Yun. If it weren't for him, you wouldn't have acted so recklessly. Wang Yi snorted. But I also believe that he won't lead you to do anything wrong. Now, all of you are fighting. Are you trying to take the credit? Credit. Everyone looked at each other. They really couldn't believe that there was any credit to be taken for this matter. Wang Yi walked straight forward and took the thing wrapped in the curtain cloth from Han Zhan's hand. He gently put it on the table and opened it. The bronze Buddha head appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Everyone couldn't help but light up. The Buddha's aura seemed to shoot out in an instant in the room. This thing definitely has spiritual energy. Do you know what this is? Wang Yi smiled slightly and didn't mean to blame them at all. It was the lost Buddha head of Wanfo Mountain. He, I really didn't expect that one day it would appear in our Huaxia's land. This is our country's priceless treasure. Like the bronze beast of the zodiac, it is a priceless treasure left by our ancestors. This time, you went to the Golden Triangle to retrieve the Buddha head and completed the mission perfectly. It really makes me proud. Wait a minute. What did Wang Yi mean? They looked at each other and couldn't help but want to reach out and touch Wang Yi's forehead to see if he had a fever. What are you looking at? Wang Yi shouted, your secret mission this time is over. You don't have to pretend anymore. I asked you to secretly carry out this mission, didn't I? Han Zhan, who suddenly understood, immediately stood at attention and saluted. Yes, Master. We have completed the mission you gave us. What else do you need us to do? Everyone understood what he meant. Even Wang Yi was on their side. If he were to take on this responsibility, they would not have to worry about any punishment. This was because Wang Yi was the deputy squadron leader of the Divine Dragon Brigade. He had the authority to assign any one of them. He had the authority to assign any of the Divine Dragon Brigade's teams to carry out any mission. Wang Yi and the others looked at each other and smiled. What else can I give you? Of course, I will hold a commendation ceremony for you. This is the glory of every member of the Dragon Fury team. Of course, although the person who contributed the most isn't here, I believe that he will be happier to see you get the commendation than himself. Everyone raised their heads and looked at the group of photos hanging on the wall. Each photo was the reward for the group mission. Su Yun's smile was always so bright. Maybe he wasn't in the photos this time, but everyone believed that he was still the soul of the Dragon Fury team. He was the Dragon Soul. After driving for a few hours, the tired Su Yun finally arrived at Hadong City's Medicinal Cuisine Hotel. Dan Jiahao saw a black Porsche Cayenne parked arrogantly in front of the hotel. He was about to ask when he saw Su Yun get out of the car. He shouted excitedly and rushed up. Brother Yun, where did you get this? Wow, that's a huge fortune. Su Yun threw the car keys to Dan Jiahao. Help me park the car. Are Chong and the others here yet? They are waiting for you inside. Dan Jiahao took the car keys and got in the car excitedly to park the car. He was also a car lover. Unfortunately, Dan Hongning hadn't retired the Audi Q5 he was driving now, so Dan Jiahao didn't have a car to drive for a while. He didn't have enough money to buy a good car, and he didn't like ordinary cars. Su Yun strode into the hotel. At this time, everyone heard Dan Jiahao shouting, Brother Yun, and hurried out to greet him. Chong and the three tigers of Nanqing came out first, followed by Ruan Qingshuang. Cho Yun held Guagua in her arms. Everyone smiled brightly when they saw Su Yun. Before Guagua could ask her father if he had learned how to sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Su Yun hooked his finger at Chong. Chong, come here. Chong grinned and walked forward, thinking that Su Yun had something to say to him. Brother, it must have been hard for you to come back. Let's eat first. Sister Shuang has prepared all your favorite dishes. Kwang dash. Before Chong could finish his words, Su Yun angrily kicked Chong's lower abdomen. Chongzi's entire body flew horizontally and fell heavily to the ground with a plop. Su Yun's kick was really merciless. Only Su Yun knew if he had held back. If he hadn't, all the bones in Chong's body would have been broken. Su Yun still didn't have the heart. Everyone was stunned. For a moment, no one dared to breathe. In the lobby of the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel, Chong awkwardly got up and said blankly, Brother, what are you doing? Cough. Are you trying to kill me? Ruan Qingxuang took Guagua from Cho Yun's arms and wanted to cover Guagua's eyes with her hands. Cho Yun and the 3 tigers of Nanqing didn't say anything to stop her. Everyone knew that Su Yun wouldn't lose his temper for no reason. Moreover, he put Chong in an important position, so he wouldn't treat Chong like this for no reason. Su Yun didn't say anything. He walked in front of Chong and suddenly kicked Chong more than 10 meters away. Dan Jiahao, who had parked his car and walked in, was shocked. Why was Brother Yun so angry today? Chong stopped and coughed again. In the end, he coughed up blood. There were dark circles under his eyes, his fingers were trembling, and his body couldn't stop shaking. Chapter 453. Su Yun was really angry this time. Everyone could see that the 3 tigers of Southern City were looking at Ruan Qingxuang. It seemed that this matter could only be solved by Ruan Qingxuang. However, Ruan Qingxuang was also a little hesitant. She really had never seen Su Yun so angry. She didn't know how Chong had offended him. Speak. Su Yun was still in a state of rage. That angry look made Chong couldn't help but feel terrified. He had begun to understand why Su Yun was so angry, but he didn't dare to admit it. He really didn't dare to admit it. Su Yun suddenly raised his foot and kicked again. Chong was kicked and rolled a few times. He lay in front of everyone and breathed heavily. This kind of pain was already at the edge of his body's limit. As long as Su Yun increased his strength at any time, it was possible to kill him with one kick. Ruan Qingxuang was Ruan Qingxuang after all. Her heart softened. Finally, she stepped in front of Su Yun. After all, Chong had known them for so long. He did everything without complaint. She really couldn't bear to see Chong being beaten by Su Yun like this. Su Yun, that's enough. What kind of matter must be solved in this way? Why can't we all sit down and talk about it? Why do you have to beat people? It's enough. Even if Chong made a big mistake, you should be appeased, right? Su Yun frowned. Ruan Qingxuang's intervention made him a little embarrassed for a while. However, Su Yun had to stick to his principles. If he didn't make Chong remember this time, he was afraid that his life would really be wasted. Thinking of this, Su Yun could only be ruthless. Sister Shuang, don't interfere in this matter. This is a problem that must be solved between Chong and me. Su Yun said, just now I was just beating him on behalf of his parents. If it had been for myself, I would have killed him long ago. In my eyes, the life of a cripple is meaningless. Cripple? What did Chong do? The 3 tigers of South City looked at each other. Even if he is unfilial to his parents, we should talk to him nicely. Ruan Qingxuang misunderstood. If Chong dares to mistreat his parents and not support the elderly, you don't have to hit him, I'll hit him. I'll talk to him about this. If you really beat him to death, then he won't be able to fulfill his filial piety. Chong finally opened his mouth. Seeing that Su Yun and Ruan Qingxuang were so nice to him, one was soft-hearted and felt sorry for him, while the other was exasperated. He really regretted what he had done. Sister Shuang, don't worry about me. Even if Brother Yun beats me to death today, I deserve it. Chong was very serious. I know I was wrong. A mistake is a mistake. No matter how Brother Yun punishes me, it's fine. I admit it. I have absolutely no complaints. Brother Yun, I just want you to leave me some face. Su Yun was also heartbroken. Although Chong didn't accompany him through life and death like the Brothers of Dragon's Fury, ever since he knew Chong had always followed him. Just that time when he led people to the dog farm of the Four Wolves gang to help him, it was enough for Su Yun to treat him as a brother. Su Yun took a deep breath. Chong, it's not that I don't want to leave you some face. Face is earned by yourself. Since you did it, don't be afraid of losing face. Chong gritted his teeth and buried his face deep in the ground. I was wrong. Brother. I'll change. I'll definitely change. I beg you to forgive me. Please don't say any more. I'll change. I'll really change. I won't dare to do it again. You don't even have the courage to admit it. How can I believe you? Su Yun took a deep breath. He was really exasperated. I want you to admit it personally. How much do you have on you? Give me all of it. No, not even a little bit. Chong said nervously. Su Yun didn't say anything. He turned around and walked out. Everyone looked at each other. The three tigers of Southern City seemed to have realized what had happened. They swallowed their saliva and didn't dare to say anything. They were secretly glad that they didn't touch those things. Cho Yun seemed to be able to see most of it. She shook her head helplessly and turned to leave. She knew that Su Yun would never give up halfway. He had a way to make Chong quit completely. Ruan Qingxuang was still confused. She didn't understand what Su Yun was doing. Su Yun walked out of the hall and went straight to Chong's Audi. Before Chong could shout, Su Yun had already smashed the side window of the driver's seat with a punch. He was too lazy to ask Chong for the car keys. He didn't plan to keep the car either. Chong had probably used a lot of heroin in this car. Su Yun was worried that he would think of it when he drove alone in the future. To prevent a drug addict from getting addicted again, he had to stop him from doing anything related to drugs. Soon, Su Yun found a bag of white powder in the storage space under the center control armrest in Chong's car. When Su Yun came back with the bag of white powder, Ruan Qingxuang had never seen it before, but she had seen it on TV. She finally vaguely understood why Su Yun was so angry. It turned out that Chong had touched something that shouldn't have been touched. For a moment, she didn't know if she should speak again. Under the dilemma of both sides, she could only turn around and leave with Guagua in her arms. Guagua, the little adult, also knew that it was best for her not to speak at this time, because her father was now angry. Although they had already guessed what Chong had done, the three tigers of Southern City couldn't help but take a deep breath when they saw Su Yun throw such a big bag of white powder on the ground. There were 50 grams of heroin. This was enough to sentence you. Su Yun said coldly, Chong, I'll ask you one last time. Did you participate in the trafficking? Tell me the truth. Chong shook his head vigorously. No. I really didn't. Brother Yun, I was just confused for a moment. I know I shouldn't have touched it. I'll quit. I'll definitely quit. It was easier said than done. Su Yun pointed to the bag of white heroin on the ground and said to the three tigers of Southern City, Dan Jiahao, and the others, he's an example today. If anyone dares to touch it in the future, don't blame me for being hostile. People who don't even have this little self-control are not worthy of being my brother. Do you understand? They understood. The few of them nodded, and no one dared to say a word more. Chong's tears were about to come out. Brother, forgive me once, just this once. I swear, I'll never touch it. Really? I beg you, brother, I'll listen to you in the future. Su Yun picked Chong up from the ground. I'll give you a chance. When Qin Wan comes back, you turn yourself into her and tell her everything. Tell her who sold you the heroin. Tell her everything. Then take the initiative to apply for detoxification. If you can do it, come out and see me in the future. If you can't do it, then get out as far as you can. Don't let me see you in Hadong City again. I've done my best. It's up to you now. Brother, I can quit without going to detoxification. Really? I swear. Chong's heart sank when he heard that he was going to detoxification. Su Yun was very insistent. I won't believe the words of a drug addict. Chong, I'll emphasize one last time. Either you go to detoxification or get out of Hadong City. It's your choice. After that, Su Yun took the car keys from Chong's waist and threw them to Dan Hongning. Go and sell his car. Search for more of this stuff in the car. If there is, throw it away, boil it, and do whatever you want with it. Dan Hongning nodded and did not ask for any reason. He would do whatever Brother Yun asked him to do. Chong, make a choice. Su Yun. Chong bit his lower lip until it bled. Brother, I'm wrong. I admit my mistake. I'll turn myself in. I'll go to detoxification. I'll listen to you. I just hope that you'll give me a chance to forgive me. Su Yun finally smiled for the first time since returning to Hadong City. I believe you. After you come out, you'll still be my brother. This scene was quite aphrodisiac. Anyway, the three tigers of Southern City felt quite uncomfortable. They had played with Chong Zi for so long, and no one wanted to see him squat inside. It was conceivable that Su Yun was even more uncomfortable now. Once they put themselves in his shoes and thought about it, everyone understood that it was not easy for their brothers. Life was like this. It was full of all kinds of variables. But as long as you were willing to solve it, there was nothing that couldn't be solved. Chong could definitely quit his drug addiction. Su Yun believed in him because he saw the determination in Chong's eyes. The welcoming dinner prepared for Su Yun in the evening was over. Su Yun ate a few mouthfuls of food and hurried upstairs. He really felt tired. Ever since he went to Shenzhen and came back from the Golden Triangle, the past 10 days had made him physically and mentally exhausted. He almost didn't sleep well at night. Lying on his bed, Su Yun could smell the fresh sunshine on the sheets. It seemed that even if he didn't come back, Ruan Qingxuang would still help him dry his quilt and clean his room every day. There seemed to be a lot of things to deal with, so Su Yun hoped that he could spend some time with Ruan Qingxuang while he was here. He promised Zhuo Meiyan that he would take over Sky Entertainment Group. But now, Zhuo Meiyan misunderstood him. How to explain this was also a problem. He was afraid that it would be difficult to deal with Zhuo Meiyan's bad temper. He could only do it through Feng Ying. He hoped that Feng Ying would help him when the time came. Also, how was Tang Jiu's artificial river reconstruction project at the east of Hadong? Su Yun didn't have time to ask Lu Feng about the river reconstruction project because of Chong's incident. If the Tang group had started construction, he really had to go and take a look. Although it was meaningless for him to go, he still had to do something to save his face. Just as Su Yun was lying on the bed thinking, Ruan Qingxuang knocked on the door. Before Su Yun could say anything, she opened the door and walked in. She was holding a bowl of cooked bird's nest in her hand. Seeing the tiredness on Su Yun's face, she couldn't help but feel bad. Did you not sleep well recently? Your eyes are a little swollen. Really? Su Yun really didn't notice it. But since he started going to the Golden Triangle and came back 6 days ago, he really didn't sleep well. At most, he closed his eyes for a while in the car. Now that he heard what Ruan Qingxuang said, he really felt that his eyelids couldn't open. It seemed that he was really tired. Quick, drink it while it's hot. Ruan Qingxuang brought the bird's nest porridge to Su Yun. Su Yun obediently reached out his hand to take it. The moment he held the bowl, his hand touched Ruan Qingxuang's hand. An inexplicable charm and gentleness swirled in his heart, as if the bottle of a young man's first love had been opened. This was not a feeling that Su Yun would usually feel. He had never thought that he would feel such a throbbing heartbeat. Chapter 454. Ruan Qingxuang's blush slowly crept up her neck, spreading to the back of her ears and directly to her cheeks. Obviously, she didn't expect Su Yun to do this for a while. This was too different from his usual behavior. Did he have something to say to her? For a moment, Ruan Qingxuang was also at a loss. This made her nervous for no reason. She was so nervous that her hand couldn't help but tremble. With a splash, the whole bowl of steaming bird's nest porridge spilled directly onto Su-yun's bed. God! What on earth was he doing? Ruan Qingxuang's lips trembled slightly. The sudden situation made her even more flustered. She didn't know what to do at all. Sorry. I was too careless. Ruan Qingxuang apologized as she hurriedly got up to help Su-yun clean up the things spilled on the bed. Su-yun also hurriedly got up to help. He also realized that all this was caused by his loss of self-control. His face was full of embarrassment. The mattress was originally very absorbent. Just now, it was a bowl of hot soup. Although the things on the surface were cleaned up, the wet mattress was obviously impossible to sleep on. Ruan Qingxuang was very helpless. She hurriedly lifted Su-yun's mattress and then went to the wardrobe to help him find a new one. But who would have thought that the mattress in the wardrobe had been left for too long? It was cold to the touch and felt a little damp. This made Ruan Qingxuang even more apologetic. She only cared about helping Su-yun dry the set of mattress every day, but she forgot to dry the spare mattress in the wardrobe. Su-yun, this mattress hasn't been dried for many days. Why don't you sleep in my room tonight? I'll make do here for the night. Ruan Qingxuang said awkwardly, I'm really stupid. I can't even hold a bowl properly. Your bed is all over. It's okay. Now the bed is soft. I can sleep without a mattress. Su-yun, I'm used to sleeping on hard planks. I can make do with the sofa. Sister Shuang, don't trouble yourself. You go back to sleep. I'm fine. Ruan Qingxuang said with some distress, You definitely haven't had a good rest for many days. Today you have to listen to me. Go to bed and have a good rest. You definitely won't be idle tomorrow. Tang Jiu's project on the artificial river has already started. You definitely won't be idle at home. So you must have a good sleep tonight. Su-yun's shoulders helplessly. She's also in your room. If I'm with her, I'll be tortured at night. I'll sleep on the sofa. Tonight, Gua and Encho Yo. You can't sleep you. Use you. S's of. This is your own home, not an outsider's room. Why are you still so restrained? With that, Ruan Qingxuang directly pulled Su-yun up. She didn't give Su-yun a chance to refuse and directly took him to her room. As soon as Su-yun entered the room, he smelled Ruan Qingxuang's unique scent. It was light and fragrant, making people feel like they were born in a paradise. Sit down. Ruan Qingxuang laughed. She always felt that Su-yun's current state was like a guest. Su-yun just wanted to sit down, but he stood up again. I think I'd better take a shower first. I haven't taken a shower for 7 days. Su-yun didn't say anything more. It was really not easy. He hadn't taken a shower for 7 days and was soaked in the cold water dungeon in the Golden Triangle for several hours. He didn't even dry his body before rushing back. It didn't matter if he was in his own room, but this was Ruan Qingxuang's room. Su-yun was really embarrassed to sit down, for fear that he would dirty her quilt. Haven't taken a shower for 7 days? Ruan Qingxuang was really shocked. What have you been doing? You're so busy that you don't even have time to take a shower. Alas, I really don't know what to say. You're not a child anymore. Do you still need me to remind you to take a shower? Okay, go and take a shower. Su-yun stood up and was about to go out. I'll go back to my room and take a shower. You can take a shower here. After you're done, you can go straight to bed. Leave your clothes here. I'll help you wash them in a while. Ruan Qingxuang got up and pulled Su-yun. I'll help you get your pajamas. Don't worry so much. Hurry up and clean yourself. This conversation was like a young couple living together. Su-yun was really completely immersed in the land of warmth and tenderness. He didn't know if Yi Fala had pried open his restless love. Su-yun had an indescribable feeling all over his body. He always felt that his body was particularly hot, but he couldn't tell exactly how it was hot. He couldn't care so much. Su-yun plunged into the bathroom. If he didn't use cold water to cool down the boiling feeling on his body, he was afraid that he would really do something irrational. He didn't even take off his clothes and washed himself thoroughly. After finally controlling the messy feeling in his heart, Soo-yoon turned off the tap. "I won't help you bring your clothes in. There's a bath towel in the bathroom. You can change after you wipe yourself clean." Ruan Qingxuang's voice sounded from outside. Perhaps she heard the tap stop and guessed that Soo-yoon had finished bathing. Little did she know that Soo-yoon had just taken off his wet clothes and washed them himself. He used soap to wash off his sweat. After drying his hair, he wrapped a bath towel around himself and walked out of the bathroom. "What are you doing? Why are you so slow?" Ruan Qingxuang said as she walked up and pointed at the 2 pieces of Soo-yoon's clothes on the bed. "I brought your clothes. Change into them. I'll help you wash them." Before Soo-yoon could explain, Ruan Qingxuang walked in. When she saw that Soo-yoon had finished washing the clothes, she was a little angry. "Didn't I say that I'll help you wash them? Can't you have a good rest?" Soo-yoon grinned. "Sister Xuang, I'm fine. I'm still quite energetic. You're making me embarrassed." "You don't have to be so polite with me." Ruan Qingxuang asked, "Soo-yoon, I've always wanted to ask you something, but I never had the chance. Today, I want to ask you. I hope you can answer truthfully." "Yes, I'll answer truthfully." Soo-yoon nodded. "In your heart, who am I to you?" This question really stumped Soo-yoon. Soo-yoon was stunned for a long time and didn't know how to answer. Ruan Qingxuang could see that he was facing this question seriously. It was enough to have Soo-yoon's serious attitude. Ruan Qingxuang didn't ask for much. She quietly waited for Soo-yoon's answer. However, 5 minutes had passed, and Soo-yoon still didn't say anything. Soo-yoon admitted that he really didn't learn Chinese well. It couldn't be helped. When he was young, Chinese was taught by a martial arts teacher. It was already very good to be able to speak and write. "Forget it. Haha, I'm just asking casually." Ruan Qingxuang finally chose to let Soo-yoon go. She knew that if it were her, it would also be difficult for her to answer this kind of question. After all, she had already mustered up a lot of courage to ask this question. Soo-yoon suddenly took a deep breath and hugged Ruan Qingxuang from behind. Soo-yoon's action made Ruan Qingxuang's brain fill with blood instantly, and she almost fainted. Soo-yoon was also surprised by his own actions. However, since he had already done it, he might as well muster up the courage to do it in one breath. "Sister Xuang, you are very important to me. I don't know how to describe it, and I don't know if I should say, you are my..." Soo-yoon stuttered. "I just want to say that even in the days when I leave Hadong, I will still think of you and Guagua in my heart. I will be worried about you, and I will hope to come back and see you sooner." Just as Soo-yoon was about to awkwardly confess his feelings for the first time, Guagua inexplicably opened the door and walked in. Guagua saw the two hugging each other. Naturally, it was very awkward. Before Guagua could open her mouth, Ruan Qingxuang broke free from Soo-yoon's arms and stepped forward to explain, "Guagua, just now Mommy was... I didn't see anything." "I didn't see anything." Guagua played dumb and said, "That... Mommy, I forgot to take my xiaohuang. Without it, I can't sleep." As she spoke, Guagua rushed over to pick up Xiaohuang's doll, secretly giving Soo-yoon an apologetic look. She really regretted coming in and bumping into this scene. No matter what other people thought, Guagua was looking forward to seeing some sparks between Soo-yoon and Ruan Qingxuang. This was probably the gossip that this girl wanted to see the most. Before leaving, Guagua even bowed. "I'm really sorry to disturb you. Please continue." "Hee hee, Mommy, in the future, I can sleep with Cho-yun, Jie. No, if necessary, I think I'm a big child and should sleep by myself. Can you ask Daddy to give me the house?" Guagua's words made the two blush. "Guagua, be careful not to spank your butt if you talk nonsense again," Ruan Qingxuang said with a red face. You're not children anymore. What's there to be embarrassed about?" Guagua was very generous. "What era are we living in? There are so many unmarried people living together. Isn't it popular to try marriage? Just think of it as a trial marriage. I don't mind you guys dating. Why are you so restrained? Ruan Qingxuang was speechless. She really didn't dare to talk to this little girl. She couldn't win an argument. There was really no way to communicate. The generation gap was too big. Su Yun's head hurt. How was he going to face this demon in the future? She would probably have something on him for a long time. Just thinking about it gave him a headache. Sigh, he didn't know if he was lucky or unlucky to have such a beautiful daughter in this life. Oh right. Remember to lock the door before doing such intimate things next time. Guagua had already walked out and came back to remind the two of them. Then, she helped the two of them to lock the door before bringing the two of them in. With a click, Su Yun and Ruan Qingxuang were locked in the same room. However, the charming atmosphere just now had been disturbed by Guagua. The two of them were angry and amused at the same time. Their expressions were extremely helpless, especially Ruan Qingxuang. She didn't know how to face Su Yun. It seemed that she was too forward just now. Thinking of this, she was so embarrassed that her face turned red. Su Yun also shook his head helplessly. Sister Shuang, I think I'll sleep on the sofa today. Chapter 455. After being disturbed by Guagua, Su Yun suddenly thought of what Yumeren had told him about the Zahoya people. When Guagua walked past him, Su Yun saw the round stone pendant on her chest. Could that thing be the legendary Pa Bo jade? Sister Shuang, you go to sleep first. I have something to talk to Cho Yun about. Su Yun got up and said, Don't worry, I promise I won't sleep on that bed without a mattress. I'll be back in a while, and I'll definitely sleep well. I promise I'll complete the task you gave me, which is to rest well. You've been tired all day, so take the time to rest. And you go. Ruan Qingxuang was thinking about how to find a chance to take a shower. Now that Su Yun said he was going out, it gave her a chance. Otherwise, if Su Yun was in her room, she would be embarrassed to go to the bathroom. Although they were separated by a room and nothing could be seen, even if Su Yun heard it, she would still feel embarrassed. When Su Yun came to Cho Yun's room, Guagua was vividly telling Cho Yun what she had just seen. Cho Yun shook her head helplessly. Even if she didn't want to listen, she could only bite the bullet and follow Guagua. If this girl didn't spit it out quickly, she definitely wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Why are you here? When she opened the door and saw Su Yun, Cho Yun was really surprised. She always thought that Su Yun should have a lot to say to Ruan Qingxuang. Why did he suddenly come to her place? Su Yun said as he entered the room, There's something I want to talk to you about Guagua. About Guagua? Cho Yun didn't understand Su Yun's meaning. Don't tell me, you want to send me and Guagua back to Suong? Of course not. I don't want to, Su Yun said. Who would be able to have such an obedient and enchanting daughter at my age? If you want to take Guagua away, I won't be willing. And there's something I have to confirm. If it's true, I can't let you and Guagua leave my side. Although Su Yun's words were not a promise of love, Cho Yun still felt warm in her heart. After a moment of shyness, she realized that these were not words of love, and her expression returned to normal. When Guagua saw Su Yun coming here, her face was filled with disappointment. No one knew what she was thinking. Sigh. Guagua let out a long sigh. Disappointment was written all over her face. It's only been a few minutes, and he came to our room. He must not have pushed her down again. Sigh, I'm completely speechless. Do I have to talk about such a small matter? Looking at this little adult sighing, Su Yunjin really wanted to bang her head against the wall and die. She really didn't want to live anymore. Cho Yun shrugged her shoulders and used her body language to tell Su Yun that it was best not to take Guagua seriously. If he continued to talk like this, she would definitely bring him into a mentally chaotic world. Let her be. She'll talk about her, you can talk about yours. Just don't talk to her on the same frequency. Su Yun sat next to Guagua and motioned for Cho Yun to sit down as well. Guagua looked at the two adults who sandwiched her in the middle warily. What are you doing? Can you take this thing off and let me see it? Su Yun pointed at the round stone pendant on Guagua's chest. Guagua and Cho Yun shook their heads almost at the same time. No, this thing can't be taken off. No one can. My grandfather, Feng Qiansui, specially instructed that no one can take it off and see it. Sure enough, this thing was very important to Guagua, to the Feng family, and to the Zixahoya people. This thing is called Pabo Jade, right? Su Yun did not insist and asked lightly. How did you know? Guagua's eyes widened. Dad, my grandfather said that no one can recognize this thing. How did you recognize it? Obviously, Cho Yun's expression was very confused. Even she did not know that this thing was Pabo Jade. She only knew that this small stone pendant was very important to Guagua and the Feng family, but she did not hear Feng Qiansui say that this thing was actually jade. Su Yun nodded. Guagua, this thing you're wearing is very, very important, but in the future, you must never admit that this thing is Pabo Jade in front of anyone. If anyone asks, you can say that this is a small stone that I picked up from the beach and polished into a pendant. Guagua nodded obediently. What is this? Cho Yun looked at Su Yun in confusion. How do you know that this small stone pendant is so important to Guagua? Su Yun, do you know something? Su Yun did not deny. I do know something that even I can't believe. Cho Yun, but the fewer people who know about this, the better. If I'm not wrong, Feng Qiansui has never told you this secret, so it's better that you don't know. Take good care of Guagua, and I will let this secret sink into the sea forever. After Su Yun left, Cho Yun's curiosity disturbed her again and again, but she finally restrained herself. Some things were indeed like this, the fewer people who knew about it, the better. Even Guagua herself did not know her identity, let alone the secret of the stone pendant. But the stone pendant was more important to Guagua than anything else, because this thing was the source of all her energy. Without the stone pendant, the energy produced in her body that could be absorbed by the invisible masters would not be produced, and she would be sucked dry. When he returned to RuanQingshuang's room again, Su Yun found that Ruan Qingshuang had already fallen asleep on the sofa in her pajamas. There was a faint fragrance on her body, the smell of having just taken a shower. Looking at the big bed, Su Yun smiled gratefully. Ruan Qingshuang was always concerned about whether Su Yun was tired or not, but in fact, she was very tired herself, and when Su Yun was not here, she almost did not have a good rest, because she would be worried, she would let her imagination run wild, and she would not sleep well. This was the reason why she was able to fall asleep so quickly when Su Yun appeared. Even though she was on the sofa, she quickly fell asleep because she was really too tired. Looking at Ruan Qingshuang on the sofa, Su Yun had an inexplicable heartache. Even if she was so tired, both physically and mentally, and could fall asleep so easily on the sofa, she still insisted on leaving the bed for him. This kind of feeling could not be described with words. Su Yun felt that he had never given Ruan Qingshuang anything. In terms of care, it was always Ruan Qingshuang who gave him more than he gave her. Su Yun gently bent down and held Ruan Qingshuang's back with one hand and her legs with the other. Gently and slowly, he lifted her up and then placed her on the bed unhurriedly. Such a big bed, it should be easy for two people to sleep on. Why did you still sleep on the sofa like a fool? Su Yun whispered to himself, Sister Shuang, thank you for giving me so much care. I can't give you anything, but you are still so selfless to me. The moment Su Yun lay on the bed, Ruan Qingshuang's closed eyes flickered and fell on the pillow. No one knew if Ruan Qingshuang was asleep or not. But Ruan Qingshuang knew that Su Yun was definitely not as ungrateful as he said. He gave her too much. If it were not for Su Yun, it was hard for her to imagine if she could still stay in Hadong City. Maybe she would have been pestered by the hateful LV Bao, or maybe the shop would have been taken back by Jin Biao and his wife, and she would have been living on the streets. If Ruan Qingshuang was alone, she might not feel so bad. But at that time, what would Guagua do? Not to mention the problem of Guagua going to school, she was afraid that Guagua would have to live on the streets with her. Thinking of that picture, Ruan Qingshuang could not help but cry again. Fortunately, God always has a good reward for good people. Su Yun was like an angel arranged by the heavens to be by their side. Thinking of this, Ruan Qingxuang could not help but open her eyes and turn her head. She wanted to see the angel sent by God. At this time, Su Yun had already fallen asleep. He fell asleep very quickly, especially when he could completely relax his mind. The tiredness that had accumulated over the past few days completely broke out, so he slept very soundly, very soundly. With Ruan Qingxuang by his side, Su Yun felt very at ease. This was the most peaceful and relaxing night he had had in so many days. Accompanied by the morning sun, when Su Yun woke up, Ruan Qingxuang was no longer in the room. Last night, because of Chong's matter, Ruan Qingxuang could not properly welcome Su Yun, so she prepared a sumptuous breakfast early in the morning. Even Guagua complained that her mother was biased. After they had breakfast, Cho Yun took Guagua to school. Although there were spare cars in the shop now, they could freely use the Buick minivan and Golf R, and Su Yun also brought back a Porsche Cayenne. But Cho Yun still insisted on her way. As long as the weather was sunny and there was no rain, she had to let Guagua walk to school. Life was about exercise. This saying was not wrong at all. If people did not exercise, their genes would change along with their laziness, and it would lead to degeneration. Just like in the movie Robot Wars, humans had degenerated into fatties who couldn't even get up after falling down during the 700 years they had spent on spaceships. This was not an exaggeration. One day, when you didn't even need to wash your face, brush your teeth, or even take a dump yourself, all you had to do was snap your fingers and shout, and a robot would do it for you. You would definitely degenerate into a useless person. After watching Cho Yun and Guagua leave, Ruan Qingxuang smiled. You should go too. Go to the artificial river and take a look. Tang Zhou has been very active recently. I told her to stay here at night, but she insisted on staying in an express hotel on the other side of the artificial river. She said it was convenient for her to discuss some shortcomings with the engineers and designers at night. You should go and persuade her. Maybe your words will be more useful than ours. It's more comfortable to stay at home. Okay. Su Yun nodded. He was now driving from the hotel. It was the morning rush hour. When he arrived at the destination, the construction site workers would have already started working. Sister Shuang, I'll go first. Ruan Qingxuang was about to give the car key to Su Yun, but Su Yun shook the key in his hand and said, I have it here. Without waiting for Ruan Qingxuang to ask where he got the car, Su Yun drove away. Looking at the back of the car leaving, Ruan Qingxuang said to Dan Jiahao, who was standing beside her to send Su Yun off, Is this the Harvard something 6? Usually, there are a lot of white cars on the road. This black car looks quite good. It has a different feeling from those white cars. A car worth more than 100,000 yuan is really worth it. Chapter 456. Hadong City's artificial river was at the edge of Nanqing District. Beyond the river was the town. The artificial river was Hadong City's pride project. After all, it was only 3 to 5 miles away from the Nanqing Expressway. Most cars that got off the expressway from Hadong City would pass by this place. That was why Qin Zhongming attached so much importance to this project. When Su Yun drove to 200 meters away from the construction site headquarters, he began to feel that something was wrong. 5 or 6 cars blocked the entrance of the headquarters, and there were several young men standing next to each car. At a glance, he knew that they were not the good-tempered kind. At the entrance of the building, Tang Zhou's face darkened. She did not expect this job to be so difficult. At first, Lu Feng and the others did not cause any trouble. It was as if everyone knew that Lu Feng was not to be messed with in Hadong City. Yesterday, all the river work was finished. Lu Feng had left with his men. They had just left on the first day, and on the second day, an unknown person came begging for food. Tang Zhou simply could not suppress the anger in his heart. After these days, Tang Zhou had matured a lot. She knew that sometimes, throwing a tantrum could not solve problems. Problems needed to be dealt with patiently. No matter who the other party was or what kind of trouble they caused, she only needed to solve it with the least amount of loss. There was no point in getting angry. That was just a stupid way of punishing yourself with other people's mistakes. Oh, I didn't expect the responsible boss Tang to be a girl. The leader of the other party was a tattoo maniac. Tang Jiu did not know what he had tattooed under his clothes, but his exposed skin, whether it was his neck, wrists, or fingers, were all covered in tattoos. From afar, he looked like green maggots crawling all over his body. Su Yun could accept simple tattoos or tattoos as status symbols. However, Su Yun could not accept these people who pushed the limits of the human body. They had tattooed themselves like green rice dumplings. There was no beauty in it. If they wanted people to turn their heads, they might as well tattoo a pile of feces on their backs. They would definitely turn their heads. What do you want? Say it. Tang Jiu was not angered by their provocation. My time is tight. Don't waste my time. Haha, Boss Tang is a straightforward person. I didn't expect you to be more straightforward than a man. Alright, I won't beat around the bush with you. The tattooed man smiled. If you say we're here for money, you're calling us robbers. We're not robbers. We're here to do business. We're all in the construction business, so we understand each other. It's almost the end of the year, and everyone wants to make more money. Tang Jiu snorted. You want a job, don't you? The tattooed man clapped his hands and said, Beautiful. Boss Tang was indeed a smart man. Our boss likes to work with smart people. If you think it's okay, Boss Tang, let's make an appointment. Our boss has booked a place, and we invite you to have a seat together. I'm sorry, but I don't need anyone else to do my project. Tang Jiu spoke indifferently. I have my own engineering team, I have my own manpower. Not to mention you guys, even the local Lu Feng only contracted me to deal with and repair the river here. As for the construction of the artificial river Commercial Street, I will not outsource anything. The tattooed man's face turned pale after hearing Tang Jiu's words. Boss Tang, please think carefully before you speak. Tang Jiu resolutely stared at the tattooed man's ferocious eyes and said, I've made it very clear. If you don't understand, then it's your ears that have a problem. Go back and tell your boss to think carefully before you come looking for trouble. Otherwise, you'll die a horrible death. The tattooed man glared at him. Brothers, F***ck this guy. While they were talking, the more than 20 people in the cars took out their weapons. All of them were machetes. The tattooed man took a homemade shotgun from one of his men behind him. His face was full of arrogance, and he was extremely arrogant. Sorry, our boss has thought it through. If Boss Tang doesn't give us face today and doesn't want a share of this big project, then don't blame us for being impolite. The tattooed man snorted. Boss Tang, Hadong City is not your territory. We know that you're capable of getting this project, but whether or not you can successfully complete it depends on whether you're more capable. Tang Jiu didn't expect that there would be so much trouble at the construction site. She had always thought that society was too simple. Now, she understood that if you weren't a local tyrant, you had to have the ability to solve any problems. Otherwise, the money earned from the construction site wouldn't even be enough to feed the dogs. Looking at the guns in their hands and the silver machetes, Tang Jiu really wanted to retreat. She really didn't want things to become so messy. A fierce engine roar suddenly erupted behind them. The black Kian with a 4.8T displacement of 500 horsepower forcefully opened up a bloody path in the middle of several cars, smashing 5 to 6 cars into a mess. Although the front bumper of this black Kian was also heavily damaged, the fate of the other cars was even more tragic. Some of them had their rear bumpers knocked off, some had their rearview mirrors knocked off, and some had their doors squeezed inwards. It was unknown whether they could still be opened. However, the combined value of those 5 or 6 cars was not as expensive as this one, so everyone's eyes were fixed on the black Kian that had caused so much trouble. When Tang Jiu saw Su Yun open the door and get out of the car, she felt like God had given her a big magic trick. It was unbelievable. Su Yun. Tang Jiu's exclamation cheered up the tattooed man and the other delinquents. The staff of the Tang group behind Tang Jiu, who had been so scared that their legs were trembling, were now full of energy. They were all rubbing their hands together, ready to fight with the delinquents in front of them. Su Yun chuckled. I realized that I didn't come here in vain. I just got here, and I've already run into trouble. How is it, Tang Zhou? Is the engineering job hard to do? It's really hard. Looks like I'll have to treat Lu Feng to a meal tomorrow and give him the job of transporting the dregs. At least when he had a job here, these delinquents didn't come looking for trouble. Tang Zhou shook her head helplessly. Fortunately, she knew the local tyrants of Hadong City and had connections with them. If it had been any other place, she wouldn't have been able to do anything. She would have had to call the police, and if the police didn't care, she would have had to pay to avoid disaster. You don't have to invite him. Just invite me. I'll call him over now. Su Yun smiled. He didn't care about the tattooed man at all. The tattooed man had heard of Su Yun's name and had come to Hadong City to make a living. If he didn't even know the big shots in Hadong City, he would be courting death. Although the tattooed man knew that Su Yun was not someone to be trifled with, he didn't think that Su Yun was taking him seriously. No matter what, the tattooed man still had a homemade shotgun in his hands. The tattooed man couldn't stand Su Yun's contempt. He shouted angrily, "You're Su Yun. Let me tell you, you can look down on me, but you better not look down on my gun." Only then did Su Yun unhurriedly turn his head around. His voice was incomparably contemptuous as he said, "You call that broken toy in your hand a gun?" What did he mean? The tattooed man was stunned. One had to know that guns were very useful most of the time. That was why Hua Xia banned guns, but there were still many people who had guns. Especially people like him. No matter what kind of business they were in, as long as they were in society, almost all of them would prepare a gun for themselves. First, they could defend themselves when they were bullied. Second, they could throw it to their underlings to intimidate others. Obviously, this thing was useless in front of Su Yun. Especially when Su Yun had just returned from the Golden Triangle, he had thrown the gun in his backpack. This homemade shotgun was nothing to him. Just when the tattooed man didn't understand why Su Yun said that, Su Yun had already opened the back door of the car. He took out an MP5 submachine gun and pulled the trigger without saying a word. Tut 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 tut. Bullets were fired in front of the tattooed man and his underlings. In an instant, more than 20 people began to cover their heads and run away. That was too cruel. He didn't even say a word before shooting. In broad daylight it was simply... The tattooed man couldn't use words to describe it. Just when this group of people had been shocked by Su Yun threw the MP5 in his hand into the car and said to himself, "This thing is not good. This thing is better." As he spoke, he took out an M16 assault rifle from the car. This time, the tattooed man's jaw almost dropped to the ground. Did this guy bring an arsenal with him? Moreover, the tattooed man had never seen these guns in real life. They could only be used in computer games. He had just returned from the Golden Triangle. These were the weapons that Su Yun and Han Zhan had disarmed. However, he was in a hurry to go back to Hadong to educate Chang, so he forgot to hand over the things in his backpack to Chen Wei and Qin Wan-er. He wanted to wait for Qin Wan-er to come back before handing it over. He didn't expect that it would come in handy before he handed it over. Anyway, there was no fixed number of bullets. It didn't matter how many shots were fired. Su Yun didn't care if other people heard him. In a place like the construction site, he could always find an excuse to get away. How about it? Do you want to play the real-life version of CF? Su Yun had an evil smile on his face. "I'll accompany you any time, but I'm afraid that your gun won't work." The tattooed man softened. He was completely convinced. "Brother, please forgive me. F***CK off." Su Yun gave him a word. "Don't let me see you in Hadong again. Also, before you leave your gun behind." "Brother, you don't like this trash." If I can't take it back, how can I report back?" The tattooed man said awkwardly. "Brother, please, give me a way out." Su Yun didn't seem to be joking at all. He glared at him fiercely. "Then leave your finger. You choose." Chapter 457. Just like the tattooed man and the others, Tang Jiu and the group of employees behind her were also dumbfounded. What kind of magic was Su Yun doing? He took out so many guns in the car, and each of them was difficult to buy even on the black market in Huaxia. Su Yun threw the M16 in his hand into the car. These things are not mine. I have to give them to Qin Wan when she comes back. These were found by the police, but they asked me to bring them back. I haven't had the time to give them to the police yet. Don't suspect that I'm an arms dealer. Arms dealers now sell more advanced and high-tech guns. These guns are actually obsolete. Tang Jiu did not believe Su Yun's words. If it was the police, who would dare to fire randomly? Every bullet was recorded, and they had to write a report if they fired a gun. Su Yun had just pulled the trigger and refused to let go. How was he going to explain this to the police later? However, in front of so many people, she naturally would not ask too much. All right, go do what you're supposed to do. Remember the main idea of last night's meeting. You must ensure the quality of the project. No matter how big the problem is, the quality of the project cannot be affected because of it. If there's something you can't solve, raise it immediately. Tang Jiu ordered the people behind her. After everyone went back to their positions, Tang Jiu said to Su Yun, "When did you come back?" "Why so suddenly?" "I came back last night." "Su Yun, didn't Sister Shuang say that you can stay in our hotel? It's not that far, and you can drive there in 20 minutes. Why did you have to stay in this express hotel? Do you feel bad if you don't spend some money every day?" Tang Jiu glared at Su Yun. "Do you think I want to spend money like this? What kind of shitty express hotel is this? There's no hot water after 10 o'clock at night. But if I stay at the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel, what's going on? Sister Shuang will arrange for me to stay in the suite upstairs. That's too inappropriate." "What's inappropriate about it? Don't forget that you bought this hotel. If you don't stay there, Sister Shuang will feel bad." "Su Yun, just take it as doing me a favor, okay? It's a deal. Come back tonight. We're waiting for you to have dinner together." Tang Jiu nodded. Since Su Yun was back, she really wanted to live with them. It would be nice to have someone to talk to when she was free. Looking up at Su Yun's car, Tang Jiu was a little surprised and said, "You're doing well. When did you buy such a good car?" "Good taste, just like my third brother, Tang Xiaofeng." "You like Porsches? Are you praising me or insulting me?" Smiling wryly, Su Yun said, "I don't have that great ability to make a fortune, I'm just opportunistic, reaping without sowing. Speaking of which, this thing is still stolen goods. Who knows when it will be confiscated? Let's take advantage of the fact that it hasn't been confiscated." Tang Jiu looked at the front bumper that had its paint chipped off and said with heartache, "But you can't be so careless. You're really wasting God's gift. Let's go. I'll take you to the construction site and let you see the final plan. It would be best if you could make some substantial suggestions." Su Yun came here for this. Deference is no substitute for obedience. After walking around the construction site of the artificial river, it was soon noon. Tang Jiu directly invited Su Yun to a small restaurant not far away for a meal. Su Yun also gave some of his own opinions. Although Su Yun didn't understand architectural design and environmental planning, he still gave some suggestions based on some common sense that he had seen. After the meal, Su Yun said that he wanted to go see Tang Zhengtian. Tang Jiu originally wanted to go with Su Yun, but then she thought that it would be better if she didn't go. Otherwise, her father wouldn't be able to say something in front of her. After making an appointment to go back to the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel for dinner, Su Yun directly drove away. It was said that plans couldn't keep up with changes. Reality was like this everywhere. Su Yun had just left the construction site of the artificial river when Qin Wan called. "You guys didn't come back, did you?" Su Yun said in surprise, "I have said many times that you guys must personally interrogate Yi Fala. She has people in the Shenzhong police station. I want to go back." Qin Wan said helplessly, "We have been personally interrogating her. Because of your video evidence, Yi Fala confessed to all her crimes. Her attitude was very good. She said that she was giving you face, so she didn't want to hide anything anymore. Soo-yoon grinned. My face is that big? Since she confessed, isn't that a good thing? But now they encountered a big problem. Although Yi-Fala admitted to everything she did, she was unwilling to say anything about the heroin distribution network in her hands. Cheen Weiner said, according to the information we have, Yi-Fala's heroin distribution network covers 6 provinces and regions. The danger is quite big. If we can seize these 6 major routes from her, then we can be considered to have successfully cracked this huge heroin smuggling case. She didn't cooperate? Soo-yoon was slightly startled. Is it because of loyalty? Cheen Won-er thought for a moment and said, it can't be said that she didn't cooperate, but it can't be said that she cooperated either. She said that she can tell us everything we want to know, but she can't tell us. She said that she wants to tell you. Unless she sees you, she won't say anything. She said that she only needs you to promise her one condition, and she will tell you everything. Soo-yoon was dumbfounded. Me? Please, I am not a police officer. I have already done a lot for you guys. Do you still need to interrogate me? What condition are you talking about with me? What if she says that she wants me to sleep with her, and then she tells me everything? Then I have to repay her with my body? You guys are too irresponsible. I definitely won't do this. Cheen Won-er spat. You wish. I don't care. You have to go back to Shenzhen now. No matter what condition she puts forward, you have to agree to it. As long as she confesses everything, you will have done a great job. You can choose not to do it. No one is forcing you to do it. You have to do it. Sigh. But I am a real person. If I don't do what I promised, then I am a liar. Soo-yoon said helplessly, okay, I won't talk to you anymore. Since you said so, then wait for me. I will be there tonight. Sigh, I really owed you in my previous life. That's why I had a good night's sleep. Cheen Won-er's voice also softened a lot. Ha, I have already called Sister Ching Shuang to ask for leave for you. Hurry up and come. Soo-yoon gave him a thumbs up from the bottom of her heart. You've really thought it through. After saying this, Soo-yoon's car had already entered the highway ramp. I won't talk to you anymore. I am on the highway. Good efficiency. I will wait for you. Cheen Won-er then hung up the phone. Soo-yoon rushed for a few hours. He had been in contact for many days. As long as he was on the road, it would be at least a few hundred kilometers, and at most a few thousand kilometers. He was now even more tired than a taxi driver. As long as his butt was pressed on the driver's seat, he would not get up for a few hours. Soo-yoon did not disappoint. He arrived in Shenzhen City before dark. He drove directly to the Shenzhen City police station and called Cheen Won-er. Cheen Won-er and Chen Wei immediately rushed out to greet him. When they heard that Soo-yoon had not even eaten, they immediately took him to eat. Chen Wei still knew how to do things. After all, he was asking for help. Of course, he had to serve Soo-yoon well. Otherwise, who knew what kind of request Soo-yoon would make? If Soo-yoon did not agree, then this matter would be difficult to handle. After a simple meal, Soo-yoon met Yi-Fala again under the lead of Chen Wei and Cheen Won-er. In the sealed room, Yi-Fala smiled slightly. I said that we would meet again soon. It seems that I was right. It has only been a day and a half, and we meet again. Isn't that right? Yi-Fala, I don't know what tricks you're trying to play, but let me tell you, you've already confessed everything. Even if you don't confess to the others, you'll still be severely punished. If you confess to the others, you might even be given a lighter sentence. Don't you know such a simple logic? Soo-yoon. Of course I know. Yi-Fala said, but I don't care how heavy my sentence is. Anyway, if it is not an immediate death sentence, it will be a suspended death sentence. Even if I confess everyone and help the police catch everyone, I can only get a life sentence at most. To me, a life sentence is better than death. Since Yi-Fala said so, Soo-yoon really had nothing to say. Okay, what are your conditions? Tell me, what do you want me to help you with? Yi-Fala raised his head, his eyes revealing a never-before-seen sincerity. Su Yun, I hope you don't see me as a prisoner now. I hope you see me as your friend. I have sincerely treated you as a friend. You know this. Okay. Su Yun nodded and agreed happily. He was not being perfunctory, he really agreed. I beg you as a friend. I beg you to help me supervise a child. Yi Farah said, he was only 12 years old, I picked him up. His childhood was as miserable as mine. I know that when Shangguan Yudi picked me up that year, I was so happy in my heart, so I picked him up. A long time ago, I transferred Shinkai Hotel and my real estate to him through the transfer of assets. I guarantee that the money was not stolen from drugs. You can confiscate the stolen money. But you can't. Su Yun looked at Yi Fala with some incredulity. She was actually raising a child? That child is very dependent on me, but he is also very difficult to manage. Yi Fala smiled. He will go home tomorrow. I let him go to a completely closed management high school. He will only go home once a month. You have been to my house. In the car I gave you, there is my house key in the storage box in front of the passenger seat. I want you to help me tell him the truth about my current situation. Su Yun fell into silence. For a child, this was definitely a very, very cruel thing. Yi Fala laughed. Right, his name is Bufifan. He is very naughty. But I believe you must have a way to make him listen to you obediently. As long as you promise to supervise him until he becomes an adult, I will tell you everything I know. Why did you choose me? Su Yun said lightly. Because I believe you. Yi Fala smiled bitterly. Even if you lied to me once, I still choose to believe you. Because I know that as long as you promise me, you will not be perfunctory. You will do it. As for others, I don't believe anyone. Chapter 458. For Su Yun, this trust was indeed a bit heavy, but it was a problem that he had to face. Even though Yi Fala's actions were wrong, she had never lied to or used him. Even when she brought him to the Golden Triangle, she was honest with him and tried to persuade him directly instead of choosing to deceive him. Just this point alone made Su Yun owe Yi Fala a favor. He had always been deceiving her. No matter what the purpose was, when he was in contact with Yi Fala, he always played the role of a deceiver, a liar who used the other party's feelings to achieve his own goals. Putting aside morality and law, Su Yun owed her. Since he owed Yi Fala, he had to pay him back. Su Yun wasn't vague about these matters at all. He definitely wouldn't treat Yi Fala differently just because he was a felon. On the other hand, what should be paid back had to be paid back. Therefore, Su Yun had no choice but to agree to Yi Fala's request very seriously. After receiving Su Yun's reply, Yi Fala also kept her promise and finally confessed all the interests related to her. After this interest network was completely revealed, it was really terrifying. There was no lack of officials with important positions. The drug dealers who were in contact with Yi Fala outside of Shenzhen also had connections. The so-called connections were bribed to provide them with convenience so that they could safely connect with each other and safely take out the goods. This huge drug network headed by Yi Fala was absolutely shocking. They could stand tall in society because those invisible hands supported them, and gave them all kinds of convenience and help. If one wanted to completely eradicate a criminal network, it was absolutely necessary not only to arrest these people, but also to reshuffle the internal law enforcement. Only by getting rid of the people who embezzled from their own people could the fundamental problem be solved. When Yi Fala handed over the final name list, Su Yun was really shocked. It was definitely a name list that could stun any high-ranking official in Shenzhen City. From the Tax Bureau to the Industry and Commerce Bureau, from the Public Security Bureau to the Municipal Committee, there were people everywhere who had received benefits from Yi Fala. The protection of their interest network was quite huge and also quite incredible. These people all know what I do, but no one dared to come forward and expose me. Yefra smiled. This is how the world is. As long as there is profit, there will be deception. Perhaps the source of the evil did not originate from me, but from the power. After Emperor Shangguan Yu passed away, there would still be all kinds of high officials reaching out to me. If I did not continue to do business with Emperor Shangguan Yu, I would not even be able to keep Shinkai Hotel. Sometimes, the solution to a seemingly complicated problem is actually very simple. Cutting off the source of evil was often the easiest way to put an end to evil. Many people could do things without breaking the rules or breaking the law, and still get the benefits and rewards they needed. But one day, they realized that the rewards they received could not even satisfy the needs of those who controlled them, so they began to risk their lives. Not only did it satisfy their own interests, it also satisfied the interests of those who controlled them. This became a crime. These words were thought-provoking and worthy of deep reflection by the people in those departments. Su-Yun thought of the particularly expensive items in the supermarket. He often heard the common people say, "Who are you selling such expensive things to?" "Humph, I don't eat what I buy, I don't buy what I eat." Shinkai Hotel and Villa under Yefra's name had been transferred a long time ago, and these things were indeed not stolen money, so they had no right to confiscate them. When Su-Yun came to the villa again, except for the cars in the yard, everything else was still intact. Just as Su-Yun was looking around, a flashy orange Lamborghini Gallardo roared and suddenly stopped at the gate of the villa. The door opened, and a handsome boy got out of the car. Then the flashy orange Lamborghini Gallardo roared and left. The handsome boy saw the gate of the villa open and did not think much. When he walked in, he began to feel that something was wrong. Su-Yun stared fixedly at the handsome boy in front of him. He smiled faintly and said nothing. "Who are you?" The boy's tone was obviously not very happy. "Where is Aunt Yi?" Su-Yun thought for a while. "Although I want to lie, your Aunt Yi told me to tell you everything truthfully. If you want to know, then let's go inside, because it's a long story." "Crazy." The boy snorted, then strode in front of Su-Yun and opened the door skillfully. He did not care about Su-Yun at all. After entering the house, he closed the door heavily. He did not want to talk to any strangers. He only came home once a month, and he only wanted to see Aunt Yi. In the past, Aunt Yi would wait for him at home every time he came home. This boy was Bu Fifan, who was mentioned by Yefra. Although he was only a 12-year-old junior high school student, he did not look childish at all. He was already 1.7 meters tall, very handsome and delicate. Just as Bu Fifan was wondering where Aunt Yi went, Su-Yun opened the door and walked in. Bu Fifan looked at the guy who suddenly walked in with a surprised face, and this guy shook the key in his hand. "Now in this house, I am your guardian, so you better not treat me with this attitude." Su-Yun did not hold back. He had already used his initial smile. Obviously, this guy was not friendly at all. "You are Bu Fifan, right? You cannot be extraordinary, but not in front of me. In front of me, you better be obedient, normal, and ordinary. Because I don't have that much patience." "How do you have the key to my house?" Bu Fifan glared at him. "Who are you? Where did Aunt Yi go? You asked me these two questions before, and I said I would explain to you. But you didn't listen and shut me out." Su-Yun. "So this time, I want to make sure whether you want to listen or not. If you are still like this, then don't blame me for being rude." Bu Fifan did not disappoint Su-Yun. He snorted again. "Then what can you do?" After he finished speaking, he headed upstairs. He was prepared to leave Su-Yun hanging. Since he had asked a question, he had to listen to the other person's answer. This was basic courtesy. It seemed that this boy really did not know what etiquette was. Su-Yun had already promised Yi Fala that he would be this boy's guardian, so he had the right to teach him how to behave. Before Bu Fifan could step onto the stairs, a gust of cold wind hit him from behind, and he fell down. Just as he was about to knock his front teeth off and disfigure his face, the back of his collar was caught by Su-Yun. "Impolite children fall easily, so you better be careful when you go upstairs." Su-Yun said indifferently, "I won't save you every time. If you fall and get disfigured, don't blame me for not reminding you." Bu Fifan gritted his teeth and glared at Su-Yun. He knew very well that it was this person who did it, but he did not understand how he did it. But Bu Fifan, who was stubborn since he was young, would not admit defeat so easily. He resolutely slapped away Su-yun's hand that was grabbing his collar and continued to go upstairs. However, before he could even take a single step forward, he once again felt a burst of pressure behind him, bringing along an air current that surged towards his back. What kind of qigong was this to be able to do this? Fortunately, Bu Fifan was fully prepared. He supported himself with both hands in time, so he did not fall heavily on his face. "What the hell are you doing?" Bu Fifan glared at him and said, "I'm telling you, if you dare to tease me again, don't blame Aunt Yi for being rude to you when she comes back." "Your Aunt Yi will not come back." Su-yun stopped teasing him. "Boy, listen carefully, I'll only say it once. Don't think too much about where your Auntie Yi went, but I'm sure she won't be coming back. Right now, your guardian is me. If it wasn't for your Auntie Yi begging me, you would be an orphan without a guardian. Everything she left you, other than this house, is Xing Kai Hotel. Don't look outside the courtyard. That car is mine, not yours." Bu Fifan was stunned by Su-yun's words. Su-yun continued, "I'm not a patient person. If you don't want to be beaten, you better cooperate with me. I've always been harsh to boys. If you were a girl, I might treat you better. Unfortunately, you were born in the wrong body. Since you're a boy, don't complain in front of me. Do you understand?" "Why should I listen to you?" Bu Fifan sneered. "Why should I believe you?" Su-yun took out a recording pen from his pocket and threw it on the table. "If you want to listen, go back to your room and listen. If you cry, don't let me see or hear it. The thing I hate the most is boys crying in front of me. It's not manly. Boring." Bu Fifan's face finally showed a trace of panic. He didn't believe anything that this person said. But now, he began to feel that this person wasn't joking with him. Moreover, this person definitely wasn't looking for trouble. If he was, then he would have already taken him away. Why would he still be here talking nonsense? As for why Bu Fifan was not afraid of strangers appearing in his house, it was because the villa's surveillance system was very comprehensive. It was not that he had not been kidnapped by Auntie Ye's enemies, but when Auntie Yi was angry, even the leader of the Shenjiang gangsters was dumbfounded. Therefore, Bu Fifan had nothing to be afraid of since he was young. Moreover, for as long as he could remember, he was a lonely street boy. He picked up garbage and slept under bridges. What had he not experienced? When he was 6 years old, he dared to fight with wild dogs and snatch cigarettes from gangsters 20 years older than him. If Yi Fala did not take him in at that time, he would have become a street thug. Therefore, the word fear did not exist in Bu Fifan's world. He was not afraid of anyone. That was why he was able to become a thorn in the side of the school in the first half of the semester. Even the high school students looked at him differently and blacklisted him. Chapter 459. Su-yun lit a cigarette in the living room downstairs and smoked slowly. About 15 minutes later, Su-yun finished his first cigarette. Just as he lit up his second one, Bu Fifan walked out of his room. Although he didn't make a sound for the past 15 minutes, it still couldn't hide his slightly red eyes. Su-yun was sure that this kid had cried before. Although it was said that men did not easily shed tears, Su-yun could still understand this kind of situation. After all, Yi Fala was the most important person in the world to Bu Fifan. No matter what Yi Fala did, it couldn't change the respect Bu Fifan had for her. "You're Su-yun?" Bu Fifan walked down the stairs. At the age of 12, there was no trace of childishness on his face. Perhaps it was his childhood experience that made him more knowledgeable than other children. As he asked, he took the box of cigarettes in front of Su-yun and lit one skillfully. Su-yun nodded and took the cigarette out of his mouth and put it out in the ashtray. "Smoking affects brain development. You're not an adult yet. Smoking isn't the right choice." Bu Fifan didn't care at all. He took another cigarette out of the pack and lit it up. "If you're a smoker, then you have no right to talk to me about this. The secondhand smoke you emit is more harmful to my body than the harm it does to my body when I smoke. Besides, I've been picking up cigarette butts on the street since I was 4 or 5 years old. I've been smoking for 7 or 8 years. It's not easy to quit. Su Yun was a little surprised that a 12-year-old kid could speak so maturely. It seemed that kids nowadays were really precocious. Su Yun put out the cigarette in his mouth and took the cigarette out of Bu Fifen's mouth. Okay, I won't smoke. You won't smoke either. Now it's fair, right? In order to establish his authority, Su Yun had to let him know that his orders couldn't be disobeyed. However, Bu Fifen was more difficult to control than he thought. He took another cigarette out of the pack. Do you know how much a pack of cigarettes costs? 2,300, which is equivalent to 230 yuan for a box. One tube costs 23 yuan, and the 3 tubes you wasted cost 69 yuan. While speaking, Bu Fifen had already lit up the 4th cigarette in his hand. I hate it when people waste things. If you want me to acknowledge you as my guardian, then you better not do such wasteful things. I'll light one for each one you snatch. Let's see who can last longer. Su Yun didn't take the cigarette from his hand. Instead, he picked up the pack of cigarettes on the table and broke it. Isn't this faster? I don't have time to play with you one by one. As he spoke, Su Yun found the pack of cigarettes in the drawer of the coffee table. There were still 7 boxes left. He took out one box and opened it. He poured the cigarettes on the table and broke them off one by one. For Su Yun, dealing with a child was a piece of cake. If you want to play tough, fine, I'll be tougher than you. If you want to play tough, fine, I'll be tougher than you. Let's see who can last until the end. He didn't believe that he couldn't deal with this 12-year-old kid in front of him. If that was the case, then he, Su Yun, would have wasted all his years of hard work. Okay. You're good. Bu Fifen stuffed the cigarette in his hand into the ashtray. Su Yun, although Auntie asked you to be my guardian, she didn't ask me to listen to you in everything. If you're qualified, I'll naturally listen to you. If you're not, then I'm sorry. Su Yun smiled. Okay, then let's try. Bu Fifen snorted. You didn't pick me up from school today. That's already dereliction of duty. If it wasn't for my friend's driver, who sent his car there, I don't even know who sent me back. Based on your performance today, you're not qualified. 1 point deducted. What the? The Lamborghini Gallardo just now was actually his friend's. Su Yun was speechless. What kind of school was this? Even a middle school student dared to drive. He wasn't even of age. What was the difference between him and the little tyrant of Hadean Silver Gun? Underage kids were all spoiled by their families. Second, I didn't even prepare food when I got home. I'm already very hungry, so you still have to deduct 1 point. Bu Fifen continued. Today is my birthday. I'm going to have a party at home tonight. I've already informed all my friends to come here at 8 o'clock. So you have to be responsible for letting them have a good time when they come. Your birthday? Su Yun was stunned. Bu Fifen nodded. Didn't Auntie tell you? Su Yun was in disbelief. This guy was a baby that had been left behind. How could he know his birthday? Bu Fifen seemed to have noticed Su Yun's doubts. He took out a pure steel pendant from his neck. Bu Fifen's name and date of birth were engraved on it. Su Yun's pupils contracted when he saw the pendant. How could this kid have such a pendant? Su Yun was a little excited. He even wanted to pull the pendant over and take a closer look. However, Bu Fifen cared a lot about this pendant. He didn't give Su Yun a chance and stuffed it back into his clothes. Okay. Since it's your birthday, of course I'll agree. Su Yun, there's still a few hours left. I have plenty of time to prepare. But you have to promise me one thing. Go to Shinkai Hotel. Your Aunt Ye's sudden departure will shake the leadership of Shinkai. At this time, only you can control them because you're the rightful boss of Shinkai. It's up to you whether you have the guts and ability to do so. Bu Fifen snorted. He wasn't afraid at all. Okay, take me there now. I want to see who dares to cause trouble for me after Aunt Ye leaves. His tone was really gutsy. Su Yun couldn't help but laugh. No wonder Yi Farah valued this kid. He exuded an aura of someone who was destined to succeed. This kid was definitely a good piece of wood to carve. Soo-yoon wasn't joking with him. He drove Bu Fifan straight to Shinkai Hotel. After leaving him there, he drove away. Then, Soo-yoon found a small company that arranged parties. Bu Fifan wanted to have a party, so Soo-yoon gave him one. At the very least, he wanted to let him know that Soo-yoon was a straightforward person. If they wanted to have a good relationship in the future, they should be straightforward. Everything could be discussed. It had to be said that the price was high. The total cost of decorating the party and preparing all kinds of drinks made Soo-yoon's heart ache. A company was a company. There was strength in numbers. Everything was settled in 2 hours. Following that, Soo-yoon rushed to the supermarket without stopping and began a frenzied shopping spree. He couldn't let his guests starve when he was having a meal. How could he just drink and not eat? Soo-yoon was really glad that he had good culinary skills. At the very least, he could cook some fancy dishes, such as red fish sashimi, baked prawns with herbs and garlic, stewed turtle with seal snake, pan-fried beef slices, Spanish specialties platter. In any case, he tried his best to cook everything that he could. To be honest, Bu Fifan promised Soo-yoon that he wouldn't have any extravagant hopes for this party. After dealing with all the miscellaneous matters at Shinkai Hotel, Bu Fifan couldn't contact Soo-yoon, so he could only choose to take a taxi home. When the taxi stopped in front of the villa, Bu Fifan wondered if he had come to the wrong place. He couldn't believe that Soo-yoon could make the whole house so colorful in such a short time. When he walked into the room, he was even more surprised. Soo-yoon not only prepared drinks, but also cold food. It was the best birthday party he had ever attended. "How was it?" Soo-yoon asked as he was busy. "Are you satisfied?" What else could Bu Fifan say? He finally smiled at Soo-yoon and strode upstairs. In fact, Bu Fifan didn't have the desire to have a birthday party. Although he did inform all his friends, that was under the premise that he didn't know that Aunt Yi had an accident. Now that Aunt Yi was gone, he still insisted on having a birthday party just to make things difficult for this new guardian. But he never thought that Soo-yoon would be so loyal to him. He actually prepared such an unforgettable birthday party for him so carefully. "Aunt Yi." Bu Fifan looked out of the window with a blank face and said to himself, "I once swore that I would never trust anyone in my life, because even the person who gave birth to me abandoned me and betrayed me. But you changed me. You let me know that there are still people in this world who care about me. You let me know that there are still people in this world who are worthy of my trust. You gave me sunshine." After a long pause, Bu Fifan continued to talk to himself, "But now you want me to trust another person. I'm afraid I can't do it. I don't want a guardian. Before I went to Shinkai Hotel, I always thought that I could handle everything by myself. But after I went there, I realized that I really need someone to help me. Aunt Yi, can this person be trusted?" No matter what kind of person Soo-yoon was in Bu Fifan's heart, at least his birthday party was worthy of his trust. Before 8 o'clock in the evening, all kinds of sports cars started to arrive outside the villa. Although none of the children were really 18 years old, and the oldest looked only 15 or 16 years old, they didn't keep a low profile at all. Some of the children who didn't drive their own cars were also sent by all kinds of luxury cars. Soo-yoon couldn't believe his eyes. The children in junior high school were actually so well developed. The boys were all more than 165 meters tall and looked very mature. They were either wearing slim suits or slim jackets, and they were all wearing shiny leather shoes. They were very photogenic. The girls were even more unambiguous. Almost none of the girls who could hang out with this group of rich second generations were shorter than 1.7 meters. They were all slender, and their development was even more praiseworthy. Each of them stuck out their small chests, and some of them were even bolder in bib dresses. Their hotness was comparable to that of a porn star. The boys and girls who came in one after another widened their eyes in surprise. They were full of praise for the birthday party prepared by Bu Fifan. Their behavior also made Soo-yoon feel very adult. The boys shook hands, and the girls hugged. He didn't know which foreign movies they had learned from. Bu Fifan seemed to have a lot of influence. Soon, everyone arrived. There were 8 boys and 5 girls, a total of 13 people. Including Bu Fifan and Su Yun, there were 15 people. Bu Fifan was very casual. He didn't say any opening words and directly took the lead to drink. Although they were all underage, their alcohol tolerance was not to be underestimated. They had no problem drinking red, white, or yellow. The girls were even more terrifying. After a few glasses, they even dared to flirt with Su Yun. Chapter 460. Handsome brother, what's your name? Who are you to Bu Fifan? The girl with long hair was dressed very maturely. It was impossible to tell her age. She had the childishness of a 12 or 13-year-old child, the youthfulness of a 17 or 18-year-old girl, and the sexiness of a 24 or 25-year-old girl. As she spoke, the long-haired girl passed the bottle in her hand to Su Yun and lightly clinked it with the bottle in his hand. Su Yun really didn't expect to be hit on by a little girl. He raised the bottle and then tilted his head back to take a big gulp. He didn't know if it was because all children of this age had an inexplicable sense of worship. They always felt that people who could drink were very handsome. The way Su Yun drank whiskey like it was Coke made the girl in front of him gasp in amazement. She also didn't hesitate to take the sky blue Rouet Australian cocktail in her hand and gulp down half the bottle. I'm his guardian, Su Yun. Su Yun smiled slightly. If he was a parent, he definitely wouldn't be a qualified parent. A qualified parent wouldn't let a group of underage children have a party at home and personally prepare so many kinds of drinks. It was simply indulging the children to be bad. The long-haired girl pursed her lips and smiled. My name is Lena. I'm Bu Fifan's sister in school. I didn't expect him to have an open-minded guardian like you. No wonder he invited us to have a party at home instead of going to a big KTV room. It's because you support him. I really envy him. You envy him? He has nothing to be envious of. Your family must be very rich. He should envy you. He wanted to ask Lena if she would still be envious of him if she knew about Bu Fifan's childhood. If she knew why he was Bu Fifan's guardian, would she still be envious of him? Lena's lips curled up slightly. TSK, my family's money is nothing compared to Aunt Yi. Wait. Why are you Bu Fifan's guardian? Where's Aunt Yi? You all know Yi Fala? Su Yun said lightly. Lena seemed to be surprised that Su Yun dared to call Yi Fala by her name. Of course, how many people in Shenzhen don't know Aunt Yi? Unfortunately, Aunt Yi doesn't know us. If that's the case, do you know Aunt Yi? And you two seem to have a pretty good relationship? Su Yun nodded, picked up the bottle of whiskey again, and took 2 sips. Of course, we know each other. We're friends. Lena looked at Su Yun with a smitten expression. So handsome. And Auntie Ye's friend. Nana, are you smitten again? Bu Fifan suddenly appeared in front of them and said, I have something to say to Su Yun in private. Please give us a chance. Lena rolled her eyes at Bu Fifan, then she got up and left. She could tell that Bu Fifan was one of the more authoritative figures in the group. At the very least, his words wouldn't be completely useless. After Lena left, Bu Fifan clinked glasses with Su Yun. Similarly, when he saw Su Yun drinking the entire bottle of whiskey, he was also very impressed. Su Yun, I want to talk to you. Bu Fifan was obviously a little adult. Since Aunt Yi asked me to listen to you, I think I should try to get in touch with you. No problem. After Su Yun drank all the whiskey in the bottle, he picked up another bottle from the table, opened the cork with his mouth, and spat it into the trash can. You can tell me whatever you want to say. Bu Fifan was much more mature than a 12-year-old, no, a 13-year-old. Seeing Su Yun so carefree, he poured himself a full glass and drank half of it. I hope you can help me. Auntie asked me to take care of Shinkai Hotel, but I don't have any management experience at all, and I don't have any social experience. I don't know how to manage a hotel, so I want you to help me. Su Yun shook his head. My job is to be her guardian. She didn't ask me to help you take care of the hotel, and I don't have the time. I know that you need to show your sincerity to ask for help. As long as you're willing to help me, I can give you 50% of Shinkai's annual income. Bu Fifan said, Is my sincerity enough? Based on my understanding of Shenzhong's luxury hotels, Shinkai's annual income is at least 1 billion. After deducting all the expenses and operating costs, it should be at least 80 to 90 million in profit, right? Su Yun smiled. I calculated it based on the minimum. Are you willing to give me tens of millions in profit every year? Bu Fifan nodded firmly. If you don't believe me, we can sign the contract now. I'll put my fingerprint on it, and you'll be the behind-the-scenes boss of Shinkai. Why do you believe me? Su Yun really admired this young man's courage. Perhaps even the average adult wouldn't be as courageous as him. He just opened his mouth and gave away tens of millions or even more every year. When this guy grew up, he definitely wouldn't be an ordinary person. Bu Fifan's answer gave Su Yun a headache. Because Auntie trusts you, so I trust you too. It was this damn trust again. If Yi Fala didn't trust him, he wouldn't be in jail now, and he wouldn't be using tens of millions in profit to ask for his help. I'll think about it. Su Yun took big gulps of wine. Bu Fifan didn't press him. He nodded and stood up to leave. After taking 2 steps, he turned around and smiled at Su Yun. I didn't expect you to be so cool. Haha, even our campus belle, Lena, has taken a liking to you. Recently, she's been looking for a man she thinks is qualified to have a one-night stand. She said she can't treat her first time unfairly. Maybe you'll have a chance. F***ck. Su Yun directly choked on a mouthful of wine. Children these days really don't take their chastity seriously, right? He wasn't such a casual person. Thank you for giving me a birthday present. After saying that, Bu Fifan blended back into his group of buddies. It was obvious that his buddies were also very curious about Su Yun. However, Bu Fifan didn't seem to trust Su Yun completely, so he didn't introduce Su Yun to them. Anyway, Su Yun wasn't interested in drinking with these guys who were so much younger than him, so he didn't mind drinking alone. However, Bu Fifan's words just now made him feel very flattered. He really didn't expect that he would become the Prince Charming in the eyes of these young girls. In the next 3 hours, every time Su Yun saw Lena and the other girls looking at him, he felt goosebumps all over his body. Fortunately, he drank the wine that he opened himself. Otherwise, he was afraid that they would drug him and do him in a daze. The group of young boys and girls drank from 8 o'clock until 1 o'clock in the morning. Everyone's faces were red, and the alcohol made them all a little unsteady. Seeing that it was getting late, Bu Fifan tactfully asked them to leave. Everyone began to get up. Some took out their car keys, while others helped each other to stand up. Su Yun smiled and said, You all drank a lot. Do you want me to call the designated driver company and ask for a few drivers? The young boy driving the flashy orange Lamborghini Gallardo next to Bu Fifan laughed out loud. Bro, you're funny. Looking for a designated driver? Which designated driver would dare to drive my car? You can ask. Ha ha ha, don't worry, we're all fine. This little bit of wine is nothing. Then let's take a taxi. Su Yun said, Give me the keys. Yo, what's this guy talking about? The young boy looked back at Bu Fifan. Little fan, did your guardian grow up drinking the water of the Pacific Ocean? Why does he care about everything? I don't think he has the right to tell me what to do. Bu Fifan's face was also quite ugly. Su Yun, they're my friends. You can't tell them what to do. If they say they're fine, then they're fine. This little bit of wine is nothing. Su Yun didn't give in at all. Either take a taxi, find a designated driver, or stay here. What's wrong, little fan? The nanny auntie you found for you is too fierce, right? Are you not going to let us go? Lena smiled beautifully. If you don't let us go, then where will we sleep, handsome? Hee hee, do you want me to sleep on your bed? Hearing Lena's teasing, the group of girls laughed even more ostentatiously, causing the young boys to glare at them with jealousy. Su Yun's face was also filled with helplessness. Young girls nowadays were becoming more and more open. Most people wouldn't be able to control themselves. Soo-yoon, why are you acting like a girl? Bu Fifan was a little impatient. Move. Your friends drove away after drinking at your house. If anything happens to them, do you think you can get away with it? Soo-yoon, even if their families don't blame you, can you forgive yourself? I always thought that you were more mature than the rest of them, but in fact, you're still a guy with an immature mind. Bu Fifan bit his lip. Then what do you want? As soon as he finished speaking, Soo-yoon suddenly moved. He walked in front of the 8 people with exquisite steps. In just a moment, several car keys appeared in his hand. There were Lamborghinis, Porsches, Ferraris, Audis, Mercedes-Benzes. The 8 people who were searched looked at each other and reached into their pockets. Sure enough, the car keys were taken away. They didn't even feel it at all. They only saw a figure flash in front of them. There are 9 cars outside, and I have 7 keys now, Soo-yoon said as he turned to the 5 girls. There are still 2 car keys. I hope you can take the initiative to hand them over. Shock. Other than shock, there was only more shock. A girl with a ponytail took out her BMW key from her bag and handed it to Soo-yoon very cooperatively. She was overwhelmed by the man's imposing manner and chose to be obedient. Lena also took out a black square key from her bag. I don't want to give it to you. What should I do? While speaking, Lena pulled open her collar and threw the key in her hand directly into her bra. She looked at Soo-yoon with a triumphant expression, as if to say provocatively, I won. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.